It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to What's Talk Raps. You're listening to What's Talk Raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
We are Grapsody. We are here to talk raps. I don't know about everybody else on this show this morning, but I didn't get a whole bunch of sleep, so my brain is like bubbling out of my ears at the moment. But this is Grapsody. You know what it is. I'm Phil Lindsay, not alone. Of course, I am here with my righteous co-host, Righteous Reg. What's going on with you, man?
In the building, it's Media Man, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster, Double R. Very excited to be here. It's a good Saturday. Weather's great. Wrestling's been good. Hip-hop, on the other hand, is on life support. We have a very special guest today, though, and I'm very excited about it. I told this man before we came on this podcast that he's actually given us the rub that he thinks that we're giving him. This man, I need advice. I need tips. I need tricks on how you get all these amazing interviews. We are very excited today to have this young gentleman. When I talk about what I wanted this business to become, what I wanted the media side, what I wanted the other side of professional wrestling to become, more people like us, more young voices, more great people. This is exactly what I was talking about today. Muscle Man Malcolm is in the building. How are you, Malcolm?
I'm doing good. I just listened to Miley Cyrus, great rapper. Having a great time here talking about some Tyrus.
Thanks for having Malcolm, and that was his last time being here. Nice to know it. Nice to meet you.
Well, I'm doing well.
Out the gate, Miley Cyrus fan, known Crocs wearer.
I got Crocs on right now.
Don't. Oh my
man.
God.
Look at this man. Interviewer extraordinaire. Yeah, man. As Reg said, man, killing it out here with the interviews. Was just out in H-Town interviewing Booker T. I said you just got Leo on for your show, which is Muscle Memory, right? The YouTube channel.
Yep.
Yeah, man. What else do you got going that you would plug on here?
Man, just talked to Jeff Hardy recently. That was a lot of fun. Going to some other shows coming up soon. I'm going to be at SummerSlam. Going to be covering SummerSlam for the WWE. I think it's going to be dope. Hopefully, I see you guys there as well.
I will not be there, sir.
No. You won't? Sorry. Oh, man, that's offensive, honestly. But, it is what it is. I'm just going around to like different territories trying to interview the biggest names. So that's kind of like my life goal right now. And I think I'm doing well.
Yeah. Unless something changes within the next 7 days, I will not be in Detroit. But
they don't want to put us on the list, Phil. Say what it is.
But no, I don't know if it's all that. I didn't attempt to get on this time. Because I'm going to Survivor Series for sure. But yeah, I didn't really attempt to make the trip to SummerSlam. I don't know. Detroit's a very weird place to decide. Hey, summer, warm weather, Detroit. I don't know if that's the city that I want to be in.
Not trying to be in the D?
Nah, biggest party of the summer. I'm not thinking like Detroit. Nah.
Detroit, no. Maybe like Miami, LA, somewhere with a beach.
Yeah, nah. But of course, when I said you were going to be on this week, day one colliders, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the first ever collision. That show was crazy. I think I lost my voice when Miro came out. That's my guy. And that CM Punk dude was there as well, and he was all right. But like when Miro came out, bro, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was a great night. United Center. Wasn't expecting to see you there, but I was like, hey, I know that guy.
I just show up in cities unannounced. I just show up everywhere, man.
Yeah, man. Look, like Red said, man, killing it out here. I think the first time I see you do anything content-wise is, I think it was on the Quizlemania you were on.
Yeah.
This kid's really funny, man. Guys got to get some more opportunities out here, man.
Appreciate that, man.
Our co-host was on that show, got screwed out of his championship. Came back and rectified that.
And they've been ducking your boy for a long time, a really long time. So long
too,
that every time they announce a new name, I'm like, they're just really ducking me out here. They act like I don't exist. They had our co-host on here. He got off. And I'm like, yo, let me do my thing too. But they don't want to let me do my thing because they're a bunch of haters. And y'all scared of Righteous Rich. And y'all scared of the smoke. That's fine. Just say it out loud. Just as long as you say it, then I'll establish exactly what it is. I'll move on about my life. I won't be waiting around for the Quizzlemania DM. Malcolm.
I'm waiting for one as well. I mean, I was on 2 of them and then they just gone. I mean, I don't know what happened on your guys' side, but like there's a lot of us that could be on Wrestle Talk as well. I mean, there's one. There could be a couple more. So I'm just saying, like, feel free to DM me. Like, I know we all follow each other, so just feel free to reach out. You know, I'm always here. I'm always gonna say yes. Just do it. It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I know a lot of mutual friends that have been on there. Sat, who has also been on the show, has
Great
been
guy.
on there.
Yep.
Love him.
Yep.
Great guy, hilarious guy. Alex Queen of the Ring has been on there. A lot of people I know. Sean Ross Sepp is of course on there a lot. But yeah, never given a Righteous Reginald a call. I don't know why. Maybe they're scared of the 6.
Probably.
Listen, I didn't say it. You said it.
Yeah,
Yo, Malcolm, I want to get into it though, man. How did you get here, bro? Like, how did you go from?
How did I get here? I mean, I was born July 8th.
Did the stork drop you off, or did like you were birthed? I still don't really understand the whole thing. Could you explain that to me?
I came out the womb bench pressing 315. Anything below that would be insulting. But besides that, when it comes to content creating, I mean, I started when I was 12. Did a lot of wrestling figure related stuff. Realized I don't like collecting toys anymore. I moved into fitness stuff. I realized I hate bringing cameras into the gym. I see so many teenagers coming to the gym now with cameras, and it's like the most annoying thing in the world. So I just stopped. I realized I was adding to the problem. Then I moved back into wrestling content. The pandemic hit. I luckily was like cool enough with Roxanne Perez at the time. Get an interview with her. I was already cool with Leo Rush since like his actual debut in wrestling. So talked to him a few times. Chris Bay. Lance on Hawaii was my first ever one. Just moved up the ranks, and now I'm slowly rising up to this point where I can be like the best wrestling interviewer under the age of 30. Like the best for sure. There's no one better than me. That guy. Me.
Yeah, definitely the youngest guy on this podcast. The only guy on this podcast that was born in the 90s.
It's crazy out here.
Which sounds insane to me. I think by the time you were born, I was finishing up elementary school.
Oh,
so,
man.
He said, "Oh man."
Man.
That was like Kevin Hart's "Damn."
I mean, no, like it's not bad or anything. I was born like the last 6 months of like the 90s though. So like I'm barely a 90s kid. I'm kind of just like I just made it. I was July 8, 1999. Just for everyone that wants to send birthday presents, I'm always here. Got a P.O. box, you can send it. Just put it out there.
1999. Yeah. What a crazy life we're living here. I was just about to get into high school.
Man. I mean, that wasn't too long ago. Wasn't too long ago at all.
Well, that's concerning. First of all, we started off the show with you showing your croc on my my show. Like I think this is crazy. This is the first time a croc has ever been featured on Grapsody. At least I'm sure somebody's probably been wearing them while being on here. But you're the first. You're a sicko. I'm very sad about it. But no, you've been absolutely killing it. We have to establish. Everybody, please follow what Malcolm is doing. He has so many really super dope interviews on his page, consistently dropping dope stuff. I'm sure he has something in the waist ready to unload on the people very soon here. He always has something dope coming up.
Got an interview with Melina coming out right after this podcast. Just boom. Timed it up perfectly.
Teed it up, man.
That's how it happens. I'm very excited about it. Saturday. How's everybody doing today? What's good with y'all regular lives? Let's talk some not wrestling for a little bit before we get into it. Very big week for hip hop. Before we came on here, we talked a little bit about a new album that just dropped. What y'all thought about it?
I didn't listen to all the Travis. Of course, I listened to the most controversial record, and that was the Meltdown record with Drake. Once again, getting his passive aggressive shots off because that's what Drake does. Um, I really like it. I mean, I can see people listening to it and going like, "Nah, this feels a lot like Sicko Mode." It sounds very similar. I can also see people like, "Oh man, this sounds very similar to Yeezus." I've seen that a lot where people are like, "This sounds like some Yeezus demos." But from what I heard, I like it. Uh, don't think that you're as amused with this album just by the look on your face, Reg. Um, it's a good album.
Yeah, it is a good album. What did you think, Malcolm? You heard it?
I mean, I heard like Meltdown. I heard like maybe 2 other songs. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. I think like was like God's Country is one of them. That was
Yeah.
decent.
Minor jams.
It's like one of those things that like if you don't listen to it, you're not missing out. But also like you should listen to it if you actually respect good music. But that's just me. That's just me. Oh, and I also like Miley Cyrus.
He just wants to keep getting this point over. He doesn't want you guys to forget. Okay, look. Great album. I'm not even going to say good album. I'm say great album because I can hear exactly what was done, the sound, the way that it's put together, the features. Good stuff. But Nas was right in 2008. Hip hop is fucking dead. Oh, we could say the F word at this point, I think. Hip hop is dead, man. No, it's not.
Is it Nas still rapping? How can he?
Yes.
You can't.
Sorry. Disclaimer. Mainstream hip hop is dead. What they present to us, it ain't for me anymore. I saw you had a conversation with Emilio recently, Philip.
I did.
And I think they're aging us out of it at this point. Like they're
it could be that we're just old. I think that's
what I'm saying. We're getting aged out, but then also at the same time, like just what you said, Nas is 50 years old and they're still doing it. Black Thought's still doing it. People are still doing it at an older age and at a high level still. So I'm not that. I just don't like rolling loud rappers is where I've come to establish this. Big stadium rappers,
rolling loud
rappers that do the, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and everybody jumps. Like what? You guys, it's not too upsetting about. I'm not too upset about it because it's like this is a wrestling podcast and hip hop is exactly like wrestling. Mainstream hip hop is world wrestling entertainment. There's no way to get around it. It's big, it's stadiums, there's millions and billions of dollars. There's all these kinds of fans, there's everything going on there. But what they're doing up there,
they're presenting the vibes, bro.
Presenting the vibes, which I could totally understand. I know exactly why. That's why I called it rolling loud music. It's nothing but vibes. You're just like in the music. There's a minute straight of no words. It's just sounds and bombs and dubstep. I don't know what really be going on there. Like there be a lot going on. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's not for me. Like, so, Malcolm, you're born in 1999. What... Is it all about the vibes? Do the words matter anymore? Is this a thing?
I love Lil Pump. Lil Pump. Let's get it. That's all.
Nah.
Lil Pump.
Nah. Can't say I'm a Lil Pump.
I gotta go.
Lil Pump.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Reg. I don't mind this album because it's so well produced. I think you've got a lot of guys on here that have helped put together some great music. Kanye's producing on here. He's staying off here rapping, saying stupid things. That's a good thing. I think Travis was smart enough to not give this guy a verse on this song, on any of these songs. Mike Dean is doing what Mike Dean does, being one of the best hip hop instrumentalists ever. And all the features he's got on here, people are on here cooking. I didn't really care for the Cardi verse, but Playboy Cardi is not really my cup of tea. But everybody else, like the Weeknd feature was cool, the Frank Ocean feature was cool, the West Side Gun feature was fire. This is a good album.
It is. It just feels like he was like, all right, I need to do a song like Black Skinhead. I need to do a song like this. Oh, this song is going to be my version of this. This song is going to be my version of this. It doesn't feel like it feels just kind of like I say about you've been a sicko. It feels just like I kind of say about WWE. It feels a little bit soulless. It's like there's presentation, there's big fireworks, there's explosions, there's all this, but then when you get to the real meat of it, you're just like, oh, okay.
I could see that. I think it's definitely festival music, and what you're saying, they're rolling loud rappers. This stuff is made to be played at festivals in stadiums because I don't know it's vibes. It's not like really lyrical content. That's not what Travis does. That's not what like the Uzis of the world do. Like I said, they're all vibe rappers. They're all giving us an ambiance, and depending on if you're into that, you're probably gonna be into this album. If you're looking for anybody to get into like some soul searching or like some lyrical content or like speak on like current events, this ain't the album for you.
I think I like in that vibe. I compare everybody to Future because like Future does all this stuff that these guys do, but like when you get to the meat of it, you're like, damn, this guy's like spitting.
Ain't no substance to Future though.
Are you crazy? There's hella substance to Future. Like substance abuse is number one.
I was about to say that his whole main thing is drug rap. Like that's it.
But that's the point though. If you really get to the meat of it, he's giving it up. He's like, I'm addicted to fucking drugs and women, and I'm addicted to money, and there's some kind of substance on it. Travis Scott is just like, here's a bunch of words for you guys to say, and I think that's what kind of separates. Get this guy out of here! I'm about to get him out of here.
Yeah. Speaking of which, rap wise, what's your boy Cassidy doing, bro? What was that, man?
What was that? I don't. I'm still like I've watched the clip at minimum 150 times, and every time I'm like, "What?"
This is again one of those moments where I felt old because I was there when this guy made Freeway say "put on a beat." Man, I remember what he used to do to guys in freestyles, and watching this, I was like, "Oh no, it's over."
No, put off the beat.
It's over. He's cooked.
He is cooked, bro. And that was a run that he did that. Then they put out that Rough Riders album, and he was spitting at the end, and it was like, "Hey, yo, this guy's the guy."
He was getting shit off. He held that grudge against Hov for the longest. Came back and sampled his words for the "I'm a Hustler."
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, that was a very weird moment for me seeing. I just don't even know what it was. I don't even know what those bars were.
Like I can't explain it. Like I don't even. I can't break it down. Like why did he say that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Oof.
But hip hop is funny though. Now, when I said hip hop is dead, of course I was kidding because hip hop is the greatest of all time. And if you don't like something, there's hundreds of other really dope stuff out, like a new Righteous Reg video and a song, a sign, a peace sign. Shout out to the homie Cole. Shout out to the homie The Alias for producing that. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. What's the super chats like? What y'all talking about today? Let's get into a couple of super chats. David Reed says, Mox and OC at All In, loser takes a vacation.
That does sound like a great stipulation match for All In. I'm into it. I'm digging it.
I like it. No, I think it's a great idea because both these brothers do need a vacation. But I don't know. Like, I feel like Mox deserves it. Mox needs it a little more because I feel like Orange Cassidy, in character, it probably looks like he needs a vacation because he's been going ham. But like, he's just on the grind, you know. Homie Jake Salazar says, Billy Goat Ospreay beat Okada. I still have hope Naito will win it all, but it's looking grim right now.
So he starts slow every year, man.
Yeah,
every year Naito starts slow. But
it's the story. They're building the story. Jake also says, y'all remember that time Miley Cyrus had the back shaken at the VMAs?
Yeah.
I try not to think about that, man.
She looked like a rotisserie chicken. It was crazy out here.
3 times.
Our homie Van Twinblade says Glory Pro is starting a weekly show and they got a Patreon now. Triple M needs to come to St. Louis and interview Tootie.
Who's Tootie?
Tootie Land.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Word. Say less.
Now, shout out to Glory Pro. I saw them announce their TV show. It looks really dope. Sure, Van Twinblay is going to be on here giving us the rundown of what's going down on their weekly. So if you haven't subscribed to any Glory Pro, you need to get to that. Arza88 says, Wrestle Talk fears Grapsody because Ollie is a Tory. Ollie is a Tory. Is that a bar? Jake Salazar also says, I'm speaking Punk versus MJF at All Out into existence. You don't think
you really need to do like a prayer circle for this match. I feel like that's happening. I don't know.
I think you got it. This is from Yes Boy Reg. You asked this question on an NXT review with Denise, but y'all were confused on the Dynamite review with Denise. I'm not on no NXT reviews.
I was about to say, you reviewing NXT, bro? What's going on?
But y'all were confused and didn't understand. So I'll ask again. Is Noam Dar invited to the cookout?
No.
What question is that?
A collective no from the gang. There you go. Yes, boy.
Listen, man, we gotta stop doing this inviting people to the cookout thing, bro. We gotta stop it. Like, just because this guy dates black women doesn't mean.
Jeff Hardy can come.
I just think we gotta relax on these invites, man.
It's to be earned. Like, Jeff Hardy's been going for like 25 years to earn his spot.
Yeah, like he took Tyrus's invite.
He did.
Tyrus, huh?
Yeah.
Have you interviewed Tyrus, Mount?
Oh, a bunch of times, and probably next week as well.
A bunch of times.
Love the guy. I have his phone number. Great guy.
Oh, no.
Well, great. Yeah, you better get your last one in because it's looking like your boy not be. Why are you shaking your head? It's looking like your boy.
Bruno Sammartino. He's gonna go forever.
Oh my God.
Yo,
this is crazy. Just compare Tyrus to Bruno Sammartino.
I mean, there's a difference. Tyrus is a better wrestler, but
hey, listen, man. This is
Bruno.
Out of here.
We got sleepers, man. What's going on?
Tell me a crowd Bruno drew. None.
What's going on, man?
He drew some empty seats. So Tyrus, that's the man. That's the guy. He's our Ric Flair of our time, of the NWA.
Nah.
Ric Flair currently, but he can't bump.
Yes, he can. He just doesn't want to.
Oh yeah, no, I don't believe that.
It's a choice.
No.
So what we're talking about is Malcolm's favorite wrestling company, NWA, announced that in their main event of their big show, EC3 is going to challenge Tyrus for the NWA Heavyweight Championship. And if EC3 defeats Tyrus, please, EC3, do this. If he defeats Tyrus, then Tyrus will retire from professional wrestling and be on Fox News permanently without the wrestling influence.
And, luckily, no one wants Tyrus to retire. That's why we all want him to win. We started a real prayer circle for Tyrus to retain.
No, we did not.
And then
we did not participate in that.
No, I mean, I guess, party one, I guess. But,
yes,
Tyrus retains. I mean, we all agree, actually. I mean, you guys invited me on. We talked about it beforehand. You're like, oh, my God, Tyrus is great. You guys said this off camera. So Tyrus retains. Don't shake your head no like you didn't already agree with me.
You guys said this on camera.
Tyrus retains. We all adore him. And he moves on to become the greatest world
champion. Who is we all? Who is y'all?
We all.
We, as in like crazy, 1, 2, 3. We.
Who is y'all? We need to have a house meeting, y'all, because I did not agree.
I mean, can we all agree that Tyrus is better than Seth Rollins? I mean, I think it's just like a pretty fair statement.
Listen, enough of this, man.
It's not enough. It's not. You can never just. We should talk about our top 10 Tyrus matches. I have a list.
There's 10?
Oh my 50. God!
I can do 50 easily.
50?
Yeah,
Tyrus number one. Just give us number one.
Tyrus versus Big Show on some
Tyrus versus Big Show. Oh my God!
What's the joke?
Stop this, man! Stop this.
This is
I
crazy.
personally would love to see Tyrus versus Omos in an Iron Man match.
Yeah, let's talk about your love for the Nigerian giant Omos.
Love him. He's actually my favorite wrestler of all time, and then it's Tyrus.
Yeah. I mean, I could go with Omos, but Tyrus, I cannot get behind.
We could go for both.
Who do you think? When do you think Omos is going to defeat Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
You said the wrong name. It's Roman Reigns. I think very soon.
He's going to beat Roman. You said?
Duh.
And very soon?
Yeah. Duh. He's going to finish his story. What? Every WrestleMania, Omos
What is the Omos story?
Bro, Omos is always fighting. Omos is always fighting former world champions at WrestleMania. He had Lashley. He had Lesnar. Next is going to be Roman. I mean, it's just obvious. The progression is always going up. It's only going up from here. He's going to be the world champion, the best in-ring wrestler of our generation. Bookmark that. And I mean, it's going to be great. I feel like you guys are disagreeing with me, and that feels kind of racist, not going to lie.
Listen, man.
Points were made. Right. I don't know.
Like, we have to build
that was a bar. Like, that was the point.
You guys need to do better. We have to build each other up, and you're not really building up the community currently. So I'm gonna need you to acknowledge your Nigerian chief.
Listen, man.
What?
I've met Omos. Seems like a really good guy. Has a great
personality. Really good guy.
Really cool dude, man. But best of our generation, man. I don't know about that. You speaking no English. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like you're just making stuff up. Omos is the best wrestler of our generation. I think he should beat Gunther. He should beat Roman at the same time. I just can't wait for him to be Divas champion. Is what I'm saying.
Wow, he's just gonna run the gauntlet. It sounds like.
This is
line him up.
This is that young folks thing, man.
Tyrus versus Omos for the NWA title and the WWE Divas Championship.
Oh, Tyrus versus Omos sound crazy.
They're going for the worst match of all time. That's
I think you should take that back.
Oh, disgusting. Let me get into why both those two wrestlers are the worst wrestlers I've ever seen.
That doesn't feel very like community building, personally. So I would say Omos versus, I mean, honestly, anyone. I mean, we get the point. Omos is great. Everyone else sucks. And Tyrus.
You're out of here. That's why we're old heads and we don't have you young people on here. Get off my lawn.
You guys aren't old. Old is like, how old are you again? You're like, yeah. You guys can't be old, right? You're like 30 something, right? Yeah. There you go. See, old is like 35. Hopefully, neither one of you 35.
No, I'm over 35.
Oh, then, okay. All right. Well, old is like 50, so we're good.
Old is like 50. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Do we have upper chats?
Someone said something great.
I'm about to get us out of here.
Speaking of
Omos is just the best wrestler of all time, guys. I mean, I think we should just acknowledge the Nigerian chief.
Do you think Omos is sticking around with whatever Bobby Lashley is currently doing? Because it seems like he is reforming the Hurt business. He hasn't solidified it, but like he's giving Street Profits the pitch. It looks like he's whining and dining them. There's no MVP anywhere to be found around this thing. It just seems like it's just Bobby's thing. You think Bobby is going to bury the hatchet with Omos and he's going to recruit this man?
No. I mean, like, there's levels to this, and Omos is above that. So Omos at MVP, world title scene. Lashley, world heavyweight title scene. He's just above it. Sorry.
Omos can't even be down with the gang.
He is.
He could. What if he was the leader?
I mean, I guess, but I just feel like there's bigger things for him to do, like besides just lead a faction. Like Wade Barrett led a faction that went nowhere. So like, why can't Omos just go do him?
Yeah. Wade Barrett led a faction that went nowhere. Why Wade Barrett?
Two factions actually that went nowhere.
Double stray for Wade Barrett. He don't deserve this.
And he blocked me on Twitter.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I got you.
It's okay though. I still like him sometimes.
There you go. Now things are making sense. You guys think that anybody else besides Omos is going to be on Who's Black? Is Carmelo Hayes gonna come up here? Trick Williams? Who could be some extra additions to this newly formed, what's looking like the Hurt business? They went in on Dawkins last night too. I like that little that segment that they had with Montez and Lashley and them both being like, Lashley being like, hey, we need you guys to dress like champions. Like, I know what time it was, but this is what time it is. And I'm looking at Dawkins being like, you don't like the sweats?
Nah, bro. It's time, man. We see how Montez is dressing. We see how Bianca got him looking out here, man. Got the ring gear looking fantastic. It's time, dog. It's time for you to step up this gear game, bro. It's time for you to stop doing things like putting a hoodie under a blazer and playing with us, bro. Like, stop it, bro. Stop it.
You standing next to Lashley and Montez and them some superstars. Like Bobby Lashley got on a $5,000 suit. Montez got on really expensive shoes all the time, like, and not Nike's expensive. I'm talking about like something dumb expensive. So,
no, it's my lights.
The Undertaker's coming into Phil's room right now.
Just like, yeah, no. We had a big storm here last night, so I don't know if
shit.
that's what this is, but lights are off. But
There's been like
still on,
some wild weather out there in Chicago, huh?
super hot here. Super hot.
Man.
Hold on.
Philly. Malcolm, what's been there? I wanted to ask you before we got off of your stuff. What's been your favorite interview that you've done so far?
I've done a lot. I mean, recent bias is Jeff Hardy because that's like a childhood hero.
Yeah, that's
the ability like just walk up to him and get that interview done was crazy. Super nice guy too. I mean, like it's kind of obvious Jeff is like the nicest guy in the world, but
yeah.
Man, that's a hard question. There's so many. Melina is actually super nice. It sounds like recent bias. I'm about to drop one with her, but I did one like 2 or 3 months ago with her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like she will give you so much of her time in like before and after you even record as well. I think I talked to her for like an hour and a half, but like the video was maybe in like 15 minutes.
Wow.
Like the nicest human being, like to ever like breathe air. Like she's so cool.
Yeah.
So anyone that ever meets Melina, I mean, you will get like your money's worth. She will talk to you.
Yeah, and I noticed that when she does interviews with people, like it's always a lot of good information and like a lot of content comes out of, even if it is just like a 15-minute interview. She seems like super
She dropped
sweet
some bombs, man. We were talking about Trish Stratus, and she had some opinions. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting watch.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I can understand Jeff Hardy, man. Yeah, like as a young black wrestling fan, as a young wrestling fan in general, like Jeff Hardy is just like,
oh crap, my dad, Mark Henry, that was my favorite one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yo, Mark Henry, that was my guy. Like I love Mark Henry so much. That was for me. It was like Cena, Batista, and Mark Henry were like my people growing up. Like those are my dudes.
Mm-hmm. You just interviewed Booker too?
Oh crap! Yeah, I interviewed Booker.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really professional, and like he was also really tired. It was like 11 p.m. at night, so he was pretty tired. So I didn't want to like take up too much of his time. I probably would have done a little bit longer if he was like a little more awake, which is totally fair. He was running a whole show that day.
Yeah.
Super chill though. I mean, like great guy. Yeah. I mean, I also put a Jeff Hardy and Mark Henry one above it, but it was fun.
Yeah. Right. Everything good over there, Philly?
Yeah, that's very bizarre. I don't know.
Telling you, Mark Calloway's back there. Also, his brother Kane. So watch your back.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what Bobby and Hurt Business or Hurt Business 2.0 is going to be.
Hurt Business 3.0. It feels like at this point.
We're saying. How do you guys feel when people call it Nation of Domination?
They're not the Nation, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm always thinking every time.
Totally different acts.
It's so different.
Yeah.
Just putting a bunch of black people together doesn't mean they're the Nation. Like you don't have to every time, hey, it's a black stable, they're the Nation. Like, no, maybe they're their own thing. Maybe they have their own identity. These guys.
Remember when the New Days will be the Nation?
Yeah, like what? That doesn't even
look at them now. You're like, that's so far away from the Nation of Domination. Like, there's nowhere.
Like it doesn't even add up. And even when like initially the stuff that Woods was saying, it's like still so different than like the message that the Nation was trying to get over. It's like, just because there's angry black guys with their promos doesn't mean they're all the Nation.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty embarrassing at this point.
Hurt Business was never angry. Hurt Business always came out like, we're about our money, we're about looking good, we're about wanting to win championships.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And getting hoes. Remember Lashley would bring the hoes every time? It was lit. I was super into Lashley then. No, that Lashley run when they would bring out the couches and everything and he'd be kicking it, that was tight. I hate that a lot of that happened during the pandemic, right? So it kind of didn't really get the full moments of it.
Did they do the same thing when he won the title like in person? Like when he had like against Lesnar, like he was champion for a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're talking about after he beat him at Royal Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, that was very short lived because he lose it right away because it didn't.
See, I'm like my brain. I was like, "What are you guys talking about?" I totally forgot about it.
Rumble, he won it. It was only for a month. He lost it at the Chamber again, but
right.
Like brought out the people again. If he had, his whole like.
Was that the Chamber where they just took him out and never brought him back, and he still never got his rematch?
Did that happen? I don't remember that.
What was that?
Yeah, he was injured, so they took him out of the Chamber because he got smashed in his chamber. He never got out of his pod.
Yeah.
And then they just gurneyed him out, and he continued to feud when he came back, but it wasn't for the title.
Oh, that's right.
Remember they had those 3 matches and it didn't really lead to anywhere.
Yeah.
I had so much hope for those matches. I was so addicted to watching Lesnar versus Lashley, and then it just didn't go well each time. Like
it felt like they were building it up pretty good, but the execution wasn't as good as it should have been.
I thought the Saudi match was pretty decent. I think like the one that it might have been Elimination Chamber again, like the following year. That one was kind of it had potential and then got disqualification, so then it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
So much potential that was lost in that. Like I wish they could run that back again, and hopefully they do it properly. But
I thought they were going to do it at WrestleMania that year too, and they did it. Like it felt like they were building to a big WrestleMania match, and it just
didn't happen.
No, because remember they were building. He lost because of that low blow, and that was the match where Bray came out and was like, "Whoever wins this match, I got next," and then Brock won. Sorry,
Brock was like, "You do not got next."
Bobby won via disqualification, so technically it was supposed to be his match. Bray got sick or injured, and we haven't seen Bray since.
Yeah, but we got a great match at WrestleMania between Lesnar and Omos. So
honestly, like this is not a joke. That was a pretty good match. That was way funner than I expected it to be.
I enjoyed it until like he lost. That part kind of was horrible, but
I mean,
as an Homo sapien, I couldn't allow that. But
I mean, you expected them to lose, right?
No.
You know how these things go when they put one of us against Brock. They lose.
Like I get it. I get this Lesnar's gimmick is to like beat up black people, but like Omos should have won.
He should have won. Honestly, I think he could have. He deserved the rub, and it wouldn't have hurt Lesnar because nothing hurts Lesnar.
Bobby should have beaten Brock.
Yeah.
He should have gotten his blow off match with Bobby. And he should have won, and it just didn't happen. But
like I can't understand why Brock is still so protected because like he's Teflon at this point. Like he could lose 20 times in a row and people will still be like Brock Lesnar. Like who cares, you know?
Yeah, I do think he's probably gonna lose next week at SummerSlam to the King of the South, Cody Rhodes. But don't I from there I don't know where we're going with Brock.
Interesting.
I would be mad if Bobby got his rematch, man.
Yeah, go back to Bobby.
Or Omos. We could say Omos as well. Survivor Series would be great.
All I know is no Brock and Rollins. Like, do not keep him as far away from that championship as you could ever have anyone.
Are you saying that Rollins retains at SummerSlam? Because I'm saying he loses.
You think that Finn's gonna get one?
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people online saying this. We talked a little bit about it. Like the general consensus, it feels like on my timeline is that Finn is gonna do this.
It's like Finn winning it feels like important, but also not the strongest moment in the world to do it. But also, it's like if it's not him, when would Rollins lose into who? So I feel like if it's not Finn, I feel like you have to wait until like closer to WrestleMania, then have like Gunther take it. I feel like that's kind of far away.
Yeah,
so I think Finn's probably the best option right now.
Maybe. I just don't see it happening. I think Finn's losing. I think people are making up their minds because Judgment Day is hot right now. Everybody else has belts. Yeah. I think that's why he's losing. I think he's going to lose because he's going to be the only one that doesn't have a belt.
You think Rollins is going to take it into like Royal Rumble?
I don't know. I kind of think they should get the belt off of him by the time he gets to the Rumble, so he can be in the Rumble and there's at least some kind of inkling that he could get the WrestleMania match, even though we know he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
But I still think there's things that they can do with Rollins. I've been saying for the longest, if you're going to do Roman versus Rollins, you should probably do it at Survivor Series. Roman's probably going to win that match, but I think that's the best chance of you doing it. Like,
that's the only thing I kind of hate about it because it's like I don't want to always do the Survivor Series like brand versus brand and then Roman just dominates every time. I mean, in storyline he should, but it's just like damn. So
yeah, I don't know. Who do you guys think Rollins like loses the title to?
Drew?
Yeah, I can see that. That's fair.
Yeah, I think Drew's losing at SummerSlam too, and just because they put that graphic up today of how close he is to breaking Honky Tonk's record. I think Gunther's going to break Honky Tonk's record, and we
know how they like to break them records these days. They love them accolades. I think that's where we're going.
Now they got to reset it. I think because like so many people don't like. I mean, I get it, but like a lot of people just don't know these guys that had like those original records. So it's like, well, let's just beat them all with like dudes that people will know nowadays. Even though like wrestling was more popular then, so technically breaking these records with guys that aren't as popular as those stars is kind of lame as well. But
but
it depends on the person looking at it.
How many current wrestling fans know Honky Tonk Man? If you're
Yeah,
not like
that's
a
kinda
guy
where I
that's
land
in the
too.
wrestling circle that watches a lot of wrestling, you don't care about Honky Tonk Man.
That's understandable. I can see that.
Do these as a young wrestling fan, Malcolm? Do accolades like how WWE goes about accolades? Does that enhance it for you?
Wait, say the last part again.
Does it enhance anything for you? Like Rollins says 20 Royal Rumble wins or blah blah blah. The things that they matter, but they don't really matter.
I think when I was a little bit younger, it made that wrestler look more prestigious. Like to say Cena is like a 16-time WWE champion, to me that sounds really impressive.
Right.
Nowadays I look at him like, well, that means you lost it a bunch of times. So like, are you that cool? Because like you just dropped it every like 300 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, like when Bianca got her record, I was pretty happy about that.
Right.
Like I care about Roman's record. I get confused with like, is it the Universal title? Because that doesn't make him the longest reigning like WWE champion. It's like too many like technicalities with those belts. That makes no sense. And he's still holding the other two belts, even though you retired them. And I don't get why it's undisputed, because it's definitely disputed. There's so much in that reign I just don't understand.
It's very disputed. I think we disputed it.
Yeah, like it's clearly disputed. But yeah, I mean, like when it comes to like certain people, I guess I get it. Roman's reign like confuses me a lot. So like, I like Roman as champion. I think he's dope. Like nothing wrong with him as a performer. I think the reign is just a little confusing. But like when you talk about Gunther and like Bianca, like those reigns make sense. Like longest modern day champion, like you know, I mean, like modern day sounds a little boring too when you think about it. It's like, it's like cool, you're cool for now, but you know,
right.
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of just depends. Like when you see certain guys you like when Punk broke a record, I was like, oh, that's dope. And then Lesnar had a longer Universal title reign, so they like diminished Punk's record. I was like, but that's a different belt. Like, it doesn't matter.
It's confusing. Okay, you're right. You're right.
It's like cool, but like, you know, when it's not very clear cut, it's like beyond confusing.
Yeah,
like it's like when they stumble into it and they're like, "Oh, actually, he's been the blob," and you're like, "Well, you haven't been pitching this the whole time. Like, why?"
Yeah, it just came up too randomly for me. It's like, all right, like let's try better.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Great insight, man. I love to learn what the youngsters are thinking and feeling, because I'm like, this stuff has to be for somebody. Like somebody has to be like, okay, but yeah, like the younger people hearing Cena is the 16-time champ. That was a great.
Like that sounds cool.
Like hearing that, you're like, oh, Cena's the man. Like, oh, he's about to beat Ric Flair's record, even though Ric Flair be like, I'm the 21-time champion or whatever. But like, I understand it. And like when they say it about Charlotte and like she's about to come up to her dad, like sometimes it makes sense.
When Ric Flair says he's like 21-time champion, right? I'm like, so does that count for like any company someone's been in? Because like, what's a recognized world title? Because then you're like, well, my local indie has a world title. Like, does that count? I have no idea. I get really confused when it comes to that stuff. Like so many belts that like should be considered a world title, but then they're not. And then there's some titles that are a world title. I'm like, but this is just an indie. Like love GCW, no disrespect, but like that's an indie. Why is that considered a world championship? But then like, I don't know. There's just like a lot of stuff that makes no sense.
Well, like in GCW's case, their championship has actually been defended around the world. Like they've taken it to Japan, they've taken it to Mexico, they've taken it to the UK. If you're local indie in Montana, and that championship has not left Montana, bro. Like this ain't a world. This is a Montana championship.
Or when it's like the heavyweight title, but it's someone like when I first started watching wrestling, Rey Mysterio had won that world heavyweight title. I'm like, but that makes no sense. He's little. Like, this is the belt for the fat people. Like, why isn't Big Show and Mark Henry, Undertaker? Like,
get all the super heavyweights.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I never understood heavyweight title, but then like you put on someone that's 180 pounds, like that's not heavyweight.
Were you watching as Khali squeezed the life out of Rey Mysterio?
No, but like I did go back and watch it. I was like, he's the heavyweight champion. He's so little. Like, I love Rey, no disrespect, but like, it's like that's not heavyweight. That just call it world champion. But,
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's like even nowadays the current world heavyweight title. I'm like, Rollins is not big. He's like 190 pounds, maybe 220.
He's a heavyweight wrestler, though.
It's like
he's a heavyweight.
You are, but you don't look like it when there's bigger.
But he could also be in a not heavyweight. Is the thing. But that's just kind of how it's
like a really thick middleweight.
That's just kind of how it evolved. Yeah, like the middleweight, lightweight, heavyweight.
Because then, like, then you have cruiserweight titles, but everyone is a cruiserweight already. Like, half the roster could be a cruiserweight champion. Like, what's his name? Like, Logan Paul boxes in like a cruiserweight. Is it Logan and Jake? One or the other. They box in a cruiserweight division. So I'm like, well, how can he be a heavyweight champion if he's considered a cruiserweight? Like, it's just weight class in pro wrestling should not exist. It does not count because like wrestling is not a real sport. It's entertainment. That's athletic. Like, let it just be that.
The cruiserweight championship in every place should be just like the X division. Should be an X division championship.
Yeah.
Because everybody's that size. Even like Roman's like, if you put Roman in the 90s, he'd be a small, like one of the smallest guys on the roster. You know what I mean?
Like he's like probably one of the biggest dudes right now, but he'd be like somewhere in the middle of the pack, you know, back in the 90s. So big guy though.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ray, by the way, because took a nasty bump last night.
Yeah.
Hope he's okay.
Oh man, I was watching SmackDown and I was like, they came back from commercial and I was like, this is weird. And they were just like, oh, Ray's not going to continue. But it didn't feel like an angle. But then it also was like, why would they? It was just so weird. And then it came out that he was actually hurt.
Yeah, I noticed it when he landed because, it looked like he had like crazy whiplash because the way his head bounced back and bounced forward, I was like, oh no, that did not look good. And it looked like they were, at first I was like, are they kind of working this? But I was like, nah, that bump didn't look good, man. And so when it came out later that it looks like it's a legitimate injury and that was not the plan for that way, for them to end the match that way. It's unfortunate. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery, but.
And unfortunate because them boys was cooking. But before that happened, like they were going for it. I was like, all right, we're getting into it. And for a match to end like that is unfortunate. But shout out to WWE referees and medical and everybody for getting to that before, because we've seen moments like this where they're like, you seem pretty loopy, but I think you're okay. And it's like, no, he's not okay. We should probably stop this match. So shout out to them for stopping this match. Rey Mysterio's a legend. He does it. If anything is wrong with Rey Mysterio, stop this match. Let's get him to the back. Let's get him some help.
Yeah,
for sure. I was convinced he was going to win that match too. So that was really surprising to see. But hopefully he gets better.
Yeah. Apparently the plan was always for Santos to win, but
was it?
Just not that way.
Is Santos going to beat Theory?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. The fact that it's not a pay-per-view match makes me feel like Theory is probably going to retain. Which I don't really understand what they're doing here. So
why do they keep doing that? They did that at Money in the Bank when they had the women's title match right the day before. Like, just put it on the show, bro.
I don't free show at minimum or something.
Yeah,
I don't really get this. So LA Knight is super over. Guy is out there
so over,
massively over. He loses. He's not in this number one contenders match for the U.S. title. You essentially are making a match so that he can be on the card in this battle royal. Why didn't you just put the U.S. title match on the SummerSlam and have this guy challenge for the belt? I'm confused. Why'd you do this?
He even cut a promo where he said he wants to be the U.S. champion. Like, why let him cut this promo?
What?
He wants to be champion if he's not even at least going to get the match at minimum. Like, give him the match, and if he loses, whatever, he shouldn't. But like, at least give him the match, you know? Like
no, 100%. He should be having this match on SummerSlam and beating Austin Theory. Like, this is easy. It's right there. They laid it all out for you.
Yeah, this was all very strange. The second they announced this battle royal and they were like sponsored match, I was like, oh, that's what LA Knight will be doing. Because of course he's now a veteran at the sponsored matches.
Sponsored match aficionado, as they would call it.
So this is his match. He's gonna win it this time. But why didn't we just put the title on SummerSlam and actually give him the belt? I don't really understand. And then
they put it on SmackDown before. It's like, what?
Maybe like, my thought is like, they really need a strong like mic person to win this match. That way they can talk about Slim Jims after the match. And like LA Knight such a great like promo that he would sell a Slim Jim easily. It's not fair, but it's like when you think about it, like if they need someone to talk about this product, I would get LA Knight to do it for sure. Which is like great for him, but also kind of bad because you're gonna be in that position where you're just the advertisement guy.
The most kind of glaring thing about this is we've been hearing that Grayson Waller might have a segment. Like they're trying to get this big moment for Grayson Waller, and it's like, well, what about LA Knight? Like every time this Grayson Waller gets something, I'm like, LA Knight, I don't know. Is that looking good for you? But I, of course, again, I have to say it. Grayson Waller, man. I'm a big fan. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I'm a huge Grayson Waller fan, man. That guy just gets it.
Do you think it's The Rock that's going to come out with the Grayson Waller? Or?
If he comes out against Grayson Waller and not Roman Reigns, Malcolm, do you know how insane that would be?
This is kind of why I want it to happen, right? Because I'm like, okay, The Rock comes out, and maybe he does the press conference after. I'm shooting my hand up first.
All you care about is just trying to get to talk to The Rock. You don't care about nothing else.
Yeah, I don't really care about storylines.
Listen,
The Rock, and that way
The Rock is number one on my interview dream list because
if he's not number one for anybody, I feel like your list is off. Like it should be The Rock first.
Come on, it's The Rock. It's The Rock.
If you want views, you want The Rock. I mean, he's the biggest name.
That's why he don't give nobody no wrestling interviews, and I respect that Rock. Like, because if you gave somebody it, we'd all be mad. So might as well give none of us it.
Fairness, he gets like 8 of them a year.
I mean, he's different.
Built
he don't
different.
count.
Yeah.
He ain't on the same level as us.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not on the same level. He's up there.
Yeah,
Shout out to Chris though. He be cooking. Every time we put out an interview, I'm like, how'd you get through it?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you just got Cody Rhodes. He just sat down. All right.
That's
he
how
was telling me about it before, like he did the interview when I saw him in Houston at Booker's show, and I was like, oh, I'm really trying to get to Booker. He's like, yeah, I just did 40 minutes with Booker. I'm like, okay, I just worked out. I mean, I get it. You stuck to Margot Robbie and stuff, so like, I get we're not in the same kind of pool, but like I would like to just. Can you introduce me?
Right.
I don't like that, man. It felt like he tried to big bro you a little bit, man. Like, wait a minute, man.
I was like, what can I say to that? I was like, yeah, you are kind of him. I mean,
wow, Chris Van Fleet with the big bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. How many minutes you gonna get? I got 40. No,
I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Put up 40.
Just a
have fun with your little 15 as he's walking away. It's like, whoa, yo, bro, what's up with the hostility? But like I said, he is up there, so he can talk like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like if I was him, I'd probably do the same thing, honestly. So,
right,
can't really be.
Why are you talking to me, peasant?
Yeah, like those
got done talking to Booker T.
$50 first.
Listen, man.
Oh, you want to shout out $50? I'm like, all right, I guess here's $50.
I mean, take it.
Malcolm, if I ever see you anywhere doing press and he's like, nah, my interview's over here, y'all get over there and do them step and repeats like the rest of them bums, I'm over here. Like, nah. Come on,
I plan on just like getting in front of everybody for the interviews. Like, I'm just gonna sit in front of people. That way I block their view. Like at that press conference, like wherever everyone's sitting, just gonna stand in front of them. That way they just don't see them.
You're gonna be in
I just shoot both hands up.
For SummerSlam, you're going to be in the press thing where all the wrestlers kind of walk through and you, blah, 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 blah. Is this your first one or have you done that before? Because I haven't been in that. Have you been in that environment, Phil?
Never.
Yeah, I did night one at WrestleMania.
Oh, right.
Impressive. Yeah, this is my first ever one. Never done one before.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Shout out to that. Just kind of like getting to it. Dude, I'm like, how do you prepare for that? Like, I'm gonna talk to 10 wrestlers today. You just kind of go for it.
I think I do so many 5-minute interviews. I'm kind of used to it. It's like, it's just like a little junket. So.
Oh wait, you're talking about the press junket?
Yeah, the press junket.
I thought you meant the press conference. I've done a press conference for WrestleMania. I did the press junket for Royal Rumble. That's what.
Royal Rumble. That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
Real quick before we I had another. I keep thinking of more Malcolm questions. As far as like content, how do you feel? Because you said something about 5-minute interviews. Do you feel like do you feel like longer interviews work, or do you feel like the 5-minute interviews kind of work better? Because time, man, people don't be wanting. Like every time I think about us having a 3-hour podcast, I'm like, I don't know how we do it. Like, how does anybody? People don't want to sit around.
That's what I was thinking. Like, for me, it's because like I know I'm not like I'm using Chris's name because like it's just fair. Like I'm not Chris, so like I don't have all those kind of followers that he has. So I'm like, I need someone to like find my channel. I need them to click it. I need them to like what I'm doing real quick enough that they'll hurry up and subscribe. So like my thing is like get 5 to 10 minutes
to it.
Yeah, maybe 20 depending on the name. Like if I could have gotten Jeff Hardy for 20 minutes. I would have, because I'm like, this will do well regardless. But for me, like those 5 minutes is like a good introduction to like who I am, what I can do, and you can go watch a lot of those really get into me. Then once I get a little bit bigger, Then I'll start dropping the hour longs and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. Because like I feel like unless like you're already there, you shouldn't be doing hour-long interviews, especially like if your guest isn't like a super strong name. Like if it's not someone that's like been on television or currently on TV, no one's gonna care in like the nicest way possible. Like they're gonna watch 10 seconds, they're gonna find a part they really want to see, which like if you like scrum through the video, you can see that anyway, and they're gonna click off. So
and then most people are there probably from some article or some little clip or something, and they're just trying to find that little point and get out of there.
Yeah, my thing is literally just clips. Like I'll put out the interview, and then like a couple hours later, I'll put out the clip that actually like people are really clicking the video for. Like when I talked to Jeff Hardy, I saved that CM Punk clip until like an hour after, then I dropped it because I know that's what everyone like wants to go watch anyway. So yeah.
No, this is definitely the era of people want it quick. They want the TikToks, they want the moments, they want the sound bites. They don't
the reels, the shorts.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just different content for different people. But I mean, like people were all on Drake's neck this week for doing the interview with Homegirl in bed, and I'm just like,
did you guys watch that?
I did, and I mean, I get it. It feels very industry plant like to me. But,
yeah. I mean, we know what it is.
You know the vibes, man. Like, I get it, man. I think she's going to do very well with the YouTube channel. She's the kind of content creator that the people that back people and give people money want. She's doing the quirky stuff. She's doing non-offensive content. I get it, man. Like, she's going to do well. And I get why Drake wanted to do that interview.
I'm trying to be like her, honestly. Whatever it takes, I'll be a plant for sure. Just give me money for sure.
Straight up. You need more industry
question you want, I got you. Like I'll ask you how your day is, and we'll talk about that for 10 minutes. Like for sure. Like it's easy.
Yeah. No, the Yachty clips are hilarious. If you haven't seen them. No, the Yachty clips are hilarious of him going, man, I can't wait to see you at like a Pizza Hut, and you're like getting out of your car, and you're just like, Yachty, hey, what's up, nigga? And she's like, I wouldn't say that. He's like, no, you wouldn't say what? What's up?
Yachty's pretty good, man. I listened to a little bit of his podcast. He has a podcast now. He's a very interesting character out here in the landscape of hip hop and media and all the things. So yeah, pretty dope. Let's get into a few super chats before we move on. Our homie Van Twinblade says Tory equals British Gap. Oh, British GOP. I thought I said Gap. British GOP. So like he's the feds is what they're saying. Mets fan for life says just want to give love to the greatness that is Juice Robinson. He needs a TNT or international title run.
International.
Yeah, Juice is cooking on.
Yeah, he's good. Man. I like him.
Yeah. RH says Jay-Z on Big Daddy Kane tracks is fire. Yeah, everybody's super influenced by Big Daddy Kane. There would be no Jay-Z if there wasn't Big Daddy Kane, so it makes sense. Jake Salazar says Malcolm would book Tyrus to beat Okada. Yeah, I don't believe that. I mean, I believe that 1,000%.
No.
Yes. No. He's so much better than him. He's so much better. He's so much better than him.
Get in the bin. Get out of here.
Get so much better.
Get out of here, man.
Oh my God, such a great wrestler.
Jake Salazar also says, "Who you weed, man, Malcolm? I need some of that."
I drink water.
This is a straight edge young man. He doesn't.
I don't do anything.
Yes,
Deer
exactly.
Park exclusive.
Thank you. Keep it like that, youngster. Anime Otaku number 2 says, I realize this is a niche question, but as July is Disability Pride Month, any recommendation for disabled rap or hip hop artists? Oh, that's a good question, Anime Otaku.
Yeah, I don't have any for you. I'm sure that if you look into it, there are some that might not have like pronounced disabilities, like, but maybe like something that we didn't know about. Like, I'm sure there's probably more than one rapper out here that has like ADHD or something.
Yeah. I actually just saw a graphic on Facebook that was talking about this Anime Otaku, and it had a few people on there talking about Disability Month and music, and it had Questlove on there. Apparently Questlove has autism.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then it had Missy Elliott on there because Missy has Missy has a disability. I don't know exactly what the disability is, but
Yo,
like Missy's
they
one of the greatest of all time. So
our chat is the greatest. They pulled up a Blind Fury reference.
Blind Fury, yo,
Blind
yeah,
Fury, bro.
that's crazy.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Blind Fury. That is a deep cut if you are not a
Deep
rap fan.
cut. Yeah, Blind Fury is a rapper. He's a battle rapper, and bro
Yes.
would like he would spit, and he was blind, and he would somehow put it together, and just from the sounds and the vibes in the room, he would be tearing dudes up. That is a deep ass cut right there for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people are not gonna have any idea what we're talking about. He did that MTV battle rap thing.
Yeah,
Back when Hov was trying to pretend that he was retiring, and he was one of the rappers on there. There was a homie
was
with
Swan
the sweater.
on there.
Swan was on there.
Yeah.
They picked the huffest black rapper that they could find from Chicago. And he was on there. I can't remember his name, but he was awful. God, he was awful. I can't remember who won, but no, that was Blind Fury was on there.
That's crazy. That's a throwback. Yeah, but Anime Otaku, I'm gonna look into more of that actually, because that is a very interesting topic, and I'll get back to you. Hit me up on Twitter. Jake Salazar says, petition for no one under 30 on here again.
Whoa, just because I like Lil Pump and Tyrus doesn't mean you have to be all rude, Jacob.
Yeah.
Don't even like you anyway.
Nah.
Oh, our homie iChurch pastor, who has been a supporter for a long time and we haven't seen in the chat for a little bit, says, hey guys, haven't been on lately, just showing some love. Appreciate you, man. Haven't seen you on here in a minute.
Appreciate you, bro.
R Dickinson 08 says, what's up, PTI's Righteous Wilbon and Philip Kornheiser? What promotion do you consider major, mid-level, low, and indie? Namely Impact, GCW, NWA, and WOW. So R Dickinson, shout out to R Dickinson for submitting. It's kind of saying where would you place these promotions like Impact, GCW, NWA, and WOW as in what you consider them? I'd say Impact is a major promotion, of course, even though they don't have a major TV deal and shit can be wild over there sometimes. See, although I consider everything else you said the same thing, like mid-level, low, and indie. Indie is all of that. Like if it's not major, it's indie. Like that's how I feel. Like there isn't all indies are on the same level to me. Some make more money than others. Some are more popular than others, but it's all independent wrestling to me. So if it ain't Impact, WWE, AEW, I put WOW in major because they're backed by the Lakers. They're not a indie, even though nobody be watching
watches
them.
Though.
Yeah, I mean that
it has a network deal, like,
and
I
it
mean,
has they get time, they get followers.
Yeah, they're doing big ratings too. I don't know if people don't know this, but they do good numbers.
I think they be beating Rampage like pretty consistently.
Wait, actually legit.
Yeah, no, they do good numbers. Seriously.
Oh, for real? Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so also, and like I said, they're backed by the Lakers, so they're a major wrestling promotion.
Well, they're backed by Genie Bus, not the Lakers.
That's the Lakers, ain't
it? Technically, but it's not like the Lakers are like now sponsoring WOW wrestling events. It's Genie's Bus. It's Genie Bus.
Lakers
like
and WOW. Y'all ready for this?
Nah. They don't have like the WOW wrestlers coming out there like spinning the ball on their finger and like.
Listen, I want the 80s aesthetic. Like if this was Glow, they would have been doing that.
Glow would have definitely done that.
I feel like those other promotions though, like if you're a promotion that you can get discovered on by like a WWE or AEW, I feel like you kind of deserve that like mid-level kind of like vibe. Like I feel like in NWA, MLW, GCW, I feel like that's like a mid-level because like there's so many guys that get discovered off of that brand, like your Ricky Starks, your LA Knights, kind of, but people like that. Yeah. Like, I feel like that deserves like a mid-level range because like obviously it's not going to be like anything like AEW or whatever,
right?
But it's like it's something that people can watch, and if you bring it up, you at least know the company beforehand. Like maybe might not know the wrestler, but you know the company at minimum.
Definitely,
right?
That's a great point. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel. Yeah, if you could get discovered off of it, there's that level, and then there's just like the independent shows that are going to get you onto those shows. So I guess there is kind of a tier list of how it's broken down.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. There are indie promotions that are like local indies that, like here, like AAW is a local indie, but I wouldn't call them like a mid-level indie promotion. Like people know of them, but they're not on the level of like GCW that people know about. They're not like it's levels to it.
Like GCW's touring all over the country and all over the world at this point.
They deserve to be considered like a mid-level to a little higher. Like they definitely done a lot. Like for me, my local one that's like big is MCW. Like they got a lot of great names that come through there, but it's also like if you're not from here, you don't know it. So
you don't really know. Yeah.
Oh, Action and Andretti came from here.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, and Leo.
And then that's where Leo. Yeah, Leo cut his teeth. Yes, boy says, gentlemen, which wrestlers do y'all think need a new theme, and what are some of your guys' favorite themes?
Shayna Baszler desperately needs a new theme. Like, get rid of that theme song. I think Sky Blue's ready for a new theme too. Like, I think her generic. I'll
be kind of grooving to that. Doop 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 doop. You don't fuck with it?
It's time. It's time, man. She's now. It's the same thing we were just talking about. Like, you're not just like on one of those tiered contracts anymore. You're now like an official member of the roster. You've had big wins now. You've been on TV regularly. You need better theme music. It's time.
Hey, yeah, that's pretty fair. Best theme song in wrestling right now is Daniel Garcia by far. It's the best. I just love it whenever I hear it. It's like a Pop Smoke song.
Yeah, Dan Garcia's song is pretty dope, and it fits him pretty well in his silly ass dance. What's the best theme song in WWE right now? You guys think?
I mean, the easy answer is Rollins or Cody.
I think it's Cody.
I mean, I would say the Usos.
I
said the Usos. It's good.
Usos too, but I would say Cody in the sense that it's the most over theme song right now.
Yeah, no, thinking about Money in the Bank and how they did Cody's song, I was like, okay, now I see what's going on here.
It's kind of hard not to put him there.
Right. Right now, like, I think one of my favorites is the Clark Connor joint. That Clark Connor theme is fire, man.
That's pretty hard. And then like Swerve, because shout out to Swerve. I think that song is like that. I remember that weekend when we first heard it, and we playing it super often. I was like, this is gonna really hit, and then it hit.
I feel like it's not appreciated enough, honestly. AEW crowds don't get it. Like I don't even say just AEW. I say like a lot of wrestling crowds like don't get what he's going for, but I think it's great.
No, that's honestly what it is. It's like I don't think they get it. They don't really understand it, and it's fine. They will eventually, but
one day.
No. Getting wrestling
he's a future world champion.
Definitely.
Getting wrestling fans to understand things like rhythm and being on beat. You gotta get, like, every time I've gone to shows and I've seen Shibata at this point, and like Shibata has like the guitar at the beginning, and then it gets into the point where you're supposed to clap. And every time I'm clapping on beat, I'm like, come on guys, get on beat, clap on beat. No.
They absolutely cannot. A big stadium of people, even if there was 3 of them, they couldn't get it together. So yeah, good question. Yes, boy. Our homie Deontay says, all love, y'all. Excited for AEW, G1, Stardom, and NXT this weekend. So much wrestling. Love it. What's worse? Wrestling watching with peeps who watched in the 80s or 90s, or those who don't know who Stone Cold and The Rock are?
Who doesn't know who the Stone Cold
is? Like, you don't know who they are. Like, you're just trying.
If you don't know who they are, you just like
at least The Rock. Like, at minimum, you know who The Rock is. Like,
if you don't know who The Rock is,
like, you're actually kind of weird. Like, you need to touch grass. Like,
when's the last time you like opened up your phone or like turn on your TV?
I can understand not knowing Stone Cold. I wouldn't agree with you, but like I can get it if you don't know him. But like The Rock, at minimum, you need to know.
I don't get not knowing Stone Cold.
I could get it. Like, he didn't watch wrestling at all. Like I could.
But he's done movies. He's had TV shows. He's been all over the place.
Stone Cold's a cultural icon.
So like the TV shows Stone Cold's been on is based around being Stone Cold Steve Austin. So like if you don't know Steve Austin, you don't care to watch those shows.
You didn't watch Walker Texas Ranger or Nash Bridges?
Nah.
You didn't. You wasn't fucking with him in Longest Yard. You wasn't like weird movies that he's been in with Adam Sandler. Like
Stone Cold has one character and it's Stone Cold. Like The Rock's movies, I love The Rock, but he plays The Rock a lot. But everyone knows The Rock.
Every
mean,
movie he's in, he's the
I'm
Rock.
just saying.
I really want to hope he was not playing Steve Austin in Longest Yard. Because
I don't even know what that is, honestly.
Is this how a white man plays guitar?
no, he was very racist in this movie, so I really hope that that's not him playing himself.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, he was like a racist prison guard. So please, I hope that that's not what you're really like. Austin.
He strikes me as the most progressive, like, redneck ever. I doubt that.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But that's why I'm like, he plays himself, and immediately I thought of him like knocking those books over in the library and forcing Nelly to pick him up. Like,
Yeah.
man, you forgot that one.
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't know that.
No, I gotta pull up Longest Yard again, man. I forgot about that roster. I forgot that Nelly was in it, man.
Nah, man, Nelly, Michael Irving, this is,
Nash
Nash
Stone
is in
Cold.
there. Isn't Great Khali in there?
Kali is in there. Yep.
Yep, a lot of wrestlers in there. Goldberg's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Was Omos?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
He was young.
Yeah, come on. Adam Sandler gave us a prison movie with Goldberg and Stone Cold Steve Austin in it.
Good stuff at ASAN. Keep spending that money. Jay Holler says, I'm doing yard work while listening to your 3-hour long podcast every week. Y'all keep me sane out here. Hey, thanks, Jay. That's amazing, man. And also, RH kind of says the same type of thing with the 12-hour shift. A 3-hour podcast is great. Also, super awesome to hear. See, those are the moments that I kind of forget. Like, a lot of people listen to us while driving to work or commuting and those things. I'm thinking like no one's just sitting down in their house listening to podcasts, which a lot of people aren't, but it also a lot of people are. So if we're helping you out in, say, a 12-hour shift, shout out to RH, shout out to Jay, you doing yard work, man, y'all are super cool. Caden, our homeboy, says, got Great American Bash in my backyard tomorrow and should be a fun time. Also, shout out to Seahawk for his Great American Bash article. Yeah, Cam just put out a new article about the Great American Bash on Fightful. If you haven't seen that, definitely pull that up. Cam is doing a lot of great work out there. Jake Salazar says, Malcolm, if you love Tyrus, have you heard of Terry Bollea, great 80s wrestler?
Okay, okay. All right. Hot take. I want to interview Hulk Hogan in the next year. The idea of a young black guy interviewing Hulk Hogan, hear me out. The idea of a young black guy interviewing Hulk Hogan is, before you even watch it, you are going to click. That is a guaranteed million viewed video just because I'm black. And I know it.
Go.
So I need to interview Hulk Hogan. And I can't wait. I'm going to have like a sweatshirt on. And in the middle of the interview, I'm like, oh, this is hot, brother. I take it off and it says Black Lives Matter. I'm like, oh,
oh, this is hot, brother.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's gonna happen. I keep saying it. It's gonna happen in the next year. I will interview Hulk Hogan. It will be great. We will talk about Black Lives Matter. It will happen. It'll be perfect.
The only question that I want him to answer as a Grapsody running gag is, does he still fuck with that Jeezy record? Does he still listen to? Does he still
on the table? Bitches on the floor every
man.
time.
He still.
First question.
Nah, man. Nah, you gotta ask him. Is he still a Jeezy fan?
I got you. It's gonna happen, man. I'm telling you. I feel it in my body. It's gonna happen in the next year. I'm gonna talk to Hulk Hogan. It's gonna be great. He's gonna love me too.
I don't know how to. I don't know how that's gonna work out for you, but
it's gonna work.
You know,
it's gonna work.
Sometimes in the name of content, sometimes no work, but
No, it's gonna work.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
This will be clipped when it happens too. In a year's time, I'm like, oh, he really did, and it was really good. He really asked some hard questions. It's gonna be good. He's not gonna take me seriously because I'm young. He's like, oh, let's talk about Andre from WrestleMania 3. No, I got some real stuff for him. It's gonna be good.
I like it. I'm in.
You gonna ask him what Brooke Hogan is up to today?
Someone said, Malcolm, can I date your daughter? Oh, that's what I'm gonna say to Hulk Hogan. I don't want to. Pass. Hard pass.
He don't want you to date his daughter either.
I think that's why this happened. Yeah.
I'm just saying, even bonus points, he even says
Those
it on camera.
damn basketball player types.
If he says it on camera, that's even better for me. I mean, that's just
is it?
I won't be offended by it. I would think I'll start laughing at it because, like, the idea of Hulk Hogan calling me that on camera, perfect views, clipping it, TikTok, viral, love it. It'd be great, so good. It would be great.
That's a way to think about it.
No, it's be great.
It'd be fisticuffs as he said that shit to me, Grandpa.
Nah, I'm good. Because like beating up an old white guy doesn't do anything for me. But like putting that on the internet, that's what I'm saying. Money.
Nah. After this week of those Lacey Van
That was wild. That caught me off guard.
This guy has on a WWE shirt.
After this week of those Lacey Van Erich clips popping back up on the internet, we need Lacey to do some more content, man.
No, I want Lacey
Seriously,
to come
man.
on Grapsody after that. I watched all them clips. I was rolling.
No, we need her to get back on here, man. The look on Ted DiBiase's face. Classic.
Crazy.
Classic.
Say, my family helped build that company, but now they're all dead.
Yo, that clip of her,
like, what the?
yeah, that clip of her explaining what a Cleveland steamer is to Ricky
my
Steamboat,
God.
wild, and Steamboat is just like.
She said Ricky the Dragon Steamboat or Ricky the Cleveland Steamer.
Yo, Ricky's like, wait, people like that? And she's just like, yeah, I guess, I think R. Kelly came up with it.
He's like, who's R. Kelly? She's like, I think he's a rapper that used to pee and poop on people. Lacey is going crazy.
Get Lacey doing more content, bro, as soon as possible.
They gotta have her
Crazy
at every
idea.
WrestleCon. Just put a mic in her hand and a Modelo and let her go ham, bro, because she was having a great time out there.
Oh man,
I think that's it for the super chats for now. Do we got any humpers?
Do we? I'm sure we do. Let me refresh my screen, make sure I'm not missing any. Still thinking about Ted DiBiase's face, just like straight to the camera. And then she like moved the phone away from him immediately.
like she got right out of there.
I had to drop my phone when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's too wild. How do you just do that and like walk away normally afterwards? It's like, I want to see what happened when the camera went off. Like, oh God, that was so awkward.
I think she just left. That is what happened.
She just off to the next interview person. Yeah, she definitely needs to be doing StarCast or something too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I want to interview her now.
Let her loose, especially with her family's movie coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That did the most promo, honestly. Like that alone made me think about it.
Let's see. We got one from Anwar Starwin. What up to everybody on the show today? Everybody watching. All right, Chicago Field. What did you think of the 5-star Grand Prix night 1? Reg without saying names. Have wrestler tried to bribe you to get any of the Wrestler of the Year awards? Peace. I have not watched the first night yet. I haven't watched them live. I've been waiting for them to put them on Stardom World, so I haven't watched it yet. Very sad to hear the Saya Kamatani news. Of course, she got injured in night 1, and then we got the report from Meltzer that she was probably going to win this year.
Yeah.
It's awful. But, this could work out in the long run. She could have a great return and end up getting a push again. We've seen that work out for other wrestlers. But, yeah, to answer your question, I haven't seen night 1. I've seen some of the clips from it. It looks crazy. But a lot of wrestling to watch. With G1 and everything else, I just haven't had a chance to watch it.
And bribed is probably not the right word. Threatened? Yeah, I've been threatened. I've been berated. I've been talked to very bad in my DMs about placement on the PWI, placement on the BW500. Some very wrestlers that I like. I love you, man. I've been very angry in my DMs before about stuff. So yeah, no bribes though, because wrestlers paying somebody for something. Yeah, I don't think wrestlers.
Somebody in your DM sending you the vibes. You got the vibe wrestlers in your DMs.
1000%. Nervous. About to start. What day is it? Oh, it's July 29th. At the end of August is the BW500 this year. Number 1 wrestler is locked up. Don't cast your votes.
Omos.
No, it's going to be. I'm not looking forward to it, is what I'm saying. But I don't care about that because this is my list. And if you want to do something, make your own.
Tyrus,
yo, get out.
What?
Get out of here.
I feel like I made some good solid picks.
From Tony P. Can we admit that Sheeta and Hayter are the true faces of the women's division, with Willow and Sky slowly making their way up? Yeah, no, Sheeta is the ace of that division. That's always been the case for me. She does not miss when it comes to matches. Yeah, I know for a lot of people, Brit is considered like the biggest star in the division, but nah, Ace has always been Sheeta to me.
Yeah,
I'm going Nyla Rose personally. That's because I'm from DC.
I mean, that's a good point to make. Nyla has always, since the beginning, kind of been in the mix, and she will always be in the mix. I mean, we just saw her with Sheeta kind of back in the mix. So, yeah, but I think yeah, exactly what Phil's saying. Sheeta's just consistently always been really great at this. Always been kind of like, you need somebody to go in and have a great match, get some sympathy, build, and all this stuff. Sheeta's going to do it, and you see how like immediately she's kind of back into it. Like, you need 3 matches with Sheeta and you already want her to be the women's champion again. That's just how great of a wrestler she is, honestly.
How did you guys respond to the Taya and Brit match?
Good question, Malcolm. How'd you respond?
I saw a clip.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it because
I mean, like, you know, it's one of those things where like it happens. So it's like I feel like I've seen every great wrestler have a bad spot. I mean, I thought it was pretty bad. Like, I mean, it sucked, but like, you know, it happens. I mean, like, it's hard for me to like crap on it when I'm like, you know, if I try taking a bump, I'm gonna be sore for like the next like month. So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it happens.
Especially like a human carrying you around. Like, it's not an easy spot.
Yeah, like, you know, I think people get so used to seeing it. It's like, oh, well, obviously it has to go perfect. Well, I'm like, you know, if you tried pick any person up yourself with consent, it wouldn't go well. Like, you know, people are heavy. Like, it's
super heavy
thing. So I thought it was pretty embarrassing though. I felt bad for them. I felt bad that like Ty was getting a lot of crap online. I felt like that kind of sucked.
Yeah, so AEW's women's division, of course, is always under scrutiny at this point. Some of it is valid. Some of it I feel is a little bit of an overreaction. But of course, it was now the topic of conversation for a second week. Because last week it was a big conversation because Britt had the squash match on the Blood and Guts episode. People were not happy that the women got so little time. This week we got a longer match. People were not happy with this match. And then we got some mess online. LuFisto came out and well, actually before that, the sign. The sign was also some mess because right after the match, the camera cut to someone in the crowd with "Book the women's division better" and lingered on this sign for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't a 1 second quick look away. Like, if it's on a TV show that's a national TV show with minutes that they count and all this for more than 3 seconds.
So it lingered on this for a minute, and of course that started the discourse on Twitter. It doesn't take much to start the discourse, but this was like the quickest way to start discourse because up to this point, we've had a lot of discourse happening online. We've had a lot of this happening between people like us that do podcasts and all the rest of this stuff. But this is kind of the first time we've seen displeasure with the women's division show up on TV, and you can't really deny it because the sign is there. And man, a lot of very interesting takes came about because of this. But as I started to get into, LuFisto came with some tea and, you know, dropped her tweet the next day. And, you know, of course, LuFisto is a legend, respected women's wrestler. Her comments were not received well by some, were not a surprise to some people.
Yep.
But essentially her take was, if you have not seen it, is that, sure, it's easy to blame the booking, but there's also, you know, talent running amok over there. There's a toxic environment, essentially. And she went into a specific incident with her when she worked there. I believe that was 2022. I think that was last year. She did a six-woman match on AEW Dark. And she just gave us a little bit of tea, given her experience there. And Twitter did what Twitter did. Some people came for her. Some people were upset. The thing that I thought was weird about all of this is that I don't understand people in one breath saying that they want better for the women. They want women to be treated better by the company. They want them to get the matches. They want them to get the time, the storylines. But then you're also in these women's mentions being disgusting. Like,
Yeah,
how does that work? It's like, are you vouching for them by being shitheads in their mentions?
they think so.
I don't really understand that, but and then on top of that, we got Rosa's looming. Rosa interview came out this week with Bleacher Report. Shout out to homie Doc, but a lot to unpack with AEW's women's division this week.
This is a conversation that we've been having since AEW's inception, and it feels like we're going to continue to have this. I feel like we just had this conversation last week, and we're going to have it next week and the week after that, because with 5 hours worth of TV show, people want more, and we are not getting more. They feel at least on the, the main shows, the main brand shows. But look, this week we got the Brit and Taya match. They just we got the Sheeta and Nyla match. Tonight is Mercedes Martinez and Kiera Hogan. So like they're trying. So it's going to be baby steps, I'm sure, as we've seen. But I mean, all it really it's going to take a lot. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take follow up. It's going to take dedication and time to this. Time is super important. You can talk and you can do all the things, but if we don't see these women on TV consistently, if we don't see them given more than 2, 3, 5 minutes, then no one's ever gonna really connect to them as fully as they should. If they don't get, if they're not put on the same level as Mox and Orange Cassidy and MJF and Adam Cole, then no one's ever gonna truly believe in them. And I don't know if we'll ever get to that point here in AEW, or what's it really gonna take to go there. But we need to start.
Yeah,
I feel like they need more promo time. I feel like there's a lot of wrestlers because
Yeah.
AEW has a great mindset of like we're bringing in wrestlers that wrestling fans know, but also the people that don't watch AEW consistently are like, well, I don't know who Kota Ibushi is. You didn't tell me who he is, so like let me know who these people are, and then it gives you a reason to really like them because there's a lot of really talented women on that roster. But I also feel like if I hadn't watched Impact or whatever indie they had came from originally, I wouldn't know anything about them, so I wouldn't have a reason to want to watch fill in the blank person. I don't want to like degrade anyone, but like there's just so many people that like are great. I know they can talk too, but they're just not on the microphone. So like as someone who's just watching AEW weekly to weekly, there's just no reason for me to like them because I don't even know who you are besides someone that can wrestle. Everyone in AEW can wrestle.
Yeah.
But like, why are you different? Why should I care about you? I feel like they did a great job with that in the well, not great, but like a good job with that in the beginning with like Brit and like Nyla, Sheeta. She didn't talk a lot, but you understood who she was through her matches. But I feel like there's not a lot of character building, or at least like let me know your name. Like I want to hear you pronounce your name to me. That way I know for a fact who you are. I just don't know.
I mean, that's a great point to bring up because a lot of times we only hear people's names from the commentary. We only hear it in that setting. I've never heard you don't hear some wrestlers even say their own name out loud.
Exactly. I'm like, where's the promos at? I mean, like that's the thing. Like even with WWE, with guys that like we don't necessarily like too much, like in Austin Theory, for example. Like a lot of people don't like him, and it's understood. But like he talks so much on the mic, you at least know who he is. You understand what his gimmick is. Well, was I don't know if he does as much anymore, but like you just know him. Like I feel like I know this guy. I know why I want to hate him. I can go online for whatever reason. People have their own opinions on him, why they might dislike him or like him. Like there's reasons. But I feel like for a lot of women in AEW, they just don't get that time to actually explain who they are, why they like wrestling. Like Sky Blue's doing a pretty good job at it. Like they give her a lot more mic time now. So to the point, like when I see Sky Blue fans, I'm like, I get why you like her. She's like kind of explained her story a little bit and is relatable. But there's a lot of people that don't. Like I don't know why Kiera Hogan's in AEW. Like you don't tell me why. It's not her fault. It's like I want to know why.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure people are gonna do what they always do when we get a good thing. Like, listen, I watched Rampage specifically for Sheeta versus Nyla because I knew it was going to be good, and it was great. And they delivered in the main event. It made me want to see Sheeta win that belt. And I think that's something that's missing from all three of their shows, that there's the women's match that people tune in specifically to see.
Yeah.
And that we don't see that a lot. We got that Friday, but I'm sure people are going to go, hey, man, you guys complained Wednesday, and look what they gave us Friday. They're listening. I don't think that that's necessarily fair. I don't think that that's necessarily valid because AEW has given us good women's matches, right? There's a slew of great women's matches that you can go back to throughout the history of this company. I think the issue is they'll have these highs like that, but then they'll just have like these lows out of nowhere. Like it's very inconsistent. They don't follow up on things like they should sometimes. Like I think having Jade as hot as she was and not following up sometimes or not keeping her on TV when she was hot, that's a great example of that. But even like right after the tournament, we've got this great tournament with the women. I feel like you had good storylines going on with the women. People were invested in both Ruby and Willow. And you did take Willow on and got the Athena match at Ring of Honor that was fire. But then you go from that to the next week of having the squash match. And that's why squash match kind of stands out because it's like, oh, we went from this over there that was fire. Why isn't that here? Like, why can't we get that on a flagship show? And I feel like the same thing happened with the match this week. It's like, all right, we're already mad at you because you gave us the squash match last week. And we got this amazing 5-star match on the pay-per-view. So what are we going to get this week on Dynamite? Oh, a match that everybody doesn't like. And I didn't think the match was horrible. I didn't think Britt versus Ty was awful. But again, I think it's by comparison, it's relatively awful when you've given us something that's really good over here, and then you give us this match on TV that is not as good. It stands out like a sore thumb, and I think that's the issue. It's just inconsistency.
Yeah. I think if we were consistently getting this, if this was happening every week and we knew we were getting great matches, like a match like this wouldn't matter. It sounds out like a sore thumb when surrounded by all the other stuff. Malcolm makes probably the best point, I think, about all this. It's really all about character development, man. If nobody could get behind that, you don't even know what half the character, like describe this character. Even it happens a lot on the men's side too. Like it's not just a women's specific thing. Like just like what is this person's character? What do they do? Why did they matter? Why do you want them to win? And if people aren't given the opportunity, we want Max to get beat up or beat up somebody because he gets long promo time. If you talk for 20 minutes, I have to feel some type of way about you if I tune in. LA Knight, he takes his 30, 40, 60 seconds and he maximizes it.
He does.
Like, you know why? Like the people want him to win. People want him to succeed because he's even given just that little 60 seconds.
I don't even think those are fair comparisons because Max and LA Knight have perfected those characters.
They're really good. Yeah, they're
they made those characters work, and like there aren't a lot of women that came from somewhere else that had this star power and recognition before they got there. Right. It's like think of it this way: the Elite is based off of the fact that people came to this company to see the Elite because the Elite built up this fan base somewhere else. There are not a lot of women that have built up fan bases in indie promotions that are big enough stars that could come here and demand that kind of screen time. Like, Mercedes is one, but Mercedes is coming from the biggest promotion in the world, the biggest company in the world. And like, you do have like the Tony Storms, you do have Ruby, but again, they're coming from a place that has the biggest
company in the world,
that has the biggest exposure. So but I don't think that there's like, when you think of when the company first started, like what Tessa was doing on the Indies, what Tessa was doing in Impact, and how that would have translated, you didn't really have anybody that they signed in that first year that had that, other than maybe Kylie. And that kind of fell under. And that's kind of my other point that, and I hate to do this, man, because it's not an excuse, because they should pivot well. But they've had so many situations where they'll have something good going, and then they'll just have like the most unfortunate thing happen at the worst time. And so like that's the other big news this week is that we're not going to have Jamie Hayter possibly back in time for All In. And that is just horrible news.
Worst news.
Jamie Hayter is super over, and this was the perfect time to get her back in front of hometown crowd, in front of like the largest crowd you're gonna have this year.
Largest crowd ever.
Yeah, it's just their largest crowd ever as a company, and not having her there, that's just a horrible missed opportunity. It's just unfortunate. Of course, they got to pivot well, but that's kind of my point. They've just had these situations where something just happens at the worst time. Like when you look at like what happened with Rosa, and Rosa looked like she was rolling and then it just completely fell off the tracks. Or like the year that Sheeta was having, and it was in the pandemic. Like, it's just so many things like that that's happened with this women's division where it felt like something could have been a bigger deal, but something else happened that derailed it. And again, it's not to make excuses, but this has happened to this division quite a bit.
Often.
And so they're in this spot where now you've got injuries plaguing it. You've got people. Like, just think of the situations Tony has been thrown in twice now, and she's managed to make it work. Coming out and being interim champion right after Rosa, having to take that belt right after Jamie Hayter and make it work. And she's done something good with that both times. But
she's really
again,
good at it.
You're throwing her in the fire, man, because you don't have that person that can heat up right away. Like, right now, if Asuka got hurt, knock on wood, you've got so many people that can step up in that spot. They're ready. There's so many stars that can step in that spot. Like, man, if somebody, like, think about Ring of Honor right now. If Athena got hurt, man, what are you going to do? Because you don't have anybody that can step in that spot.
Yeah, you're screwed.
For Ring of Honor. And that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, it's so easy to be like, oh, they should pivot well. But, again, it's just like they just don't have some of the stars that are ready-made. And I think that that's part of an availability thing, and I think that's also part of their issues not presenting the women well enough to make them the stars yet. Like, I think it's twofold. But what a mess. But the good thing about this is I do think they're in a better position than they were, say, 3 years ago, 2019, where in the pandemic, where something may have gone wrong, then it's like, oh man, who do we pivot to? Like, Shanna's a really good wrestler, but man, Shanna cannot travel because of whatever, COVID, or, Rio is in Japan and all of this other stuff. I don't think this is the disaster that people are making out to be. Like, this division cannot recover, because they do have a lot of upside right now. You do have stars that you can build up. You do have Ruby right now that you can do stuff with. You do have Tony. You do have Sky Blue. You do have Willow. Thunder Rosa is on the way back, it sounds like. You do have some bright spots, but, man, you got to do the work, man. You do. Like, you got to give these women the time.
Where's Chris Statlander at? I'm like, where was she at? I thought she was being pretty consistently booked on Collision here, and it seems like the last couple of weeks they forgot about that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You have to get these women on TV. You got to give them the time. You got to do the work to make people care, because just putting them out there, that's not going to do it, man.
You need so much more. Yeah, it's such a complicated issue. Injuries have plagued this. Things have changed. But yeah, still gotta put in the work, man. It's not going to be easy. You're never gonna. Mercedes is like the only one that's going to come in like a ready-made star. Everybody else, you're going to have to do work.
Yeah, and even if you have a ready-made star, you still have to do.
Still got to do work.
You still have to put them in angles. You still got to put them in storylines to keep people interested. I don't care how big of a star is. I mean, look at, for example, as big as Becky was for the last year. Becky is Becky, but some of the stuff she was doing, I wasn't that interested in it. And but Becky is somebody that you can heat up at any point. But that's why I'm like, Sheeta is Sheeta. Like you said, you could throw her in a few matches, and all of a sudden people are like, man, might need to put that belt on her. And that's why I'm like, you can reset easily from this. I think they can put the belt on Sheeta soon, and we're back rocking. You could go and do all of the great matches with Sheeta, but again, you also have to give her the storylines too, man. You can't just be like, hey, these are some great matches. Is everybody happy now? We're not giving you the 5-minute matches. Nah, we still want some character. We still want some storylines.
Women's wrestling, man. Yeah, I don't think it's as doom and gloom as people have been being about it. And I think the pivot could be pretty quickly. I think the pieces that they do have kind of waiting in the wings could do this. It's just going to take some time. So you guys, don't give up on this. We're still fighting out there, and support when these women have matches. If they do have a match, happen to have a match on Rampage, fucking watch Rampage. If they do have a match on Dynamite, watch their match. If they do have a match on Collision, watch it. Anytime that they're on, you've got to support, because they care about ratings and numbers and all these things too.
Of course. We're not saying this in a sense of giving anybody a cop out of, oh, well, you didn't watch it, so that's why it didn't get the support. They should be supporting it anyway, but
Yeah.
You cannot talk out of both sides of your mouth. You have to support and show them like, hey, we want to see this, because that'll be the thing that gets it on TV. Because again, Brit doesn't happen the way Brit happens if she does not get those monster crowd reactions.
Yeah.
Like if she goes to those shows and people are sitting on their hands, like I've seen people sit on their hands for some of these matches. Yeah. Then people backstage are going to be like, no, people are not into this. Don't put it back out there.
Mm-hmm. Easy as that. But it seems like it's happening. The stuff with Sheeta is a bright spot, and moving forward, I could see them dedicating some good stuff to that. Hopefully, the women's All In match could be salvaged and something good could come out of it. A very unfortunate losing Jamie Hayter, but hopefully they could salvage something out of it and put some dope out there, because they gotta have all hands on deck. All In is next month, but it's coming up. Like in August is in a couple days. Like it's happening. It's time to get to it, man.
Are you guys in panic mode? Like I've seen some people on Twitter, like, man, they haven't given us anything for this card yet. What is on this card? Why aren't they putting any build into this show? It's their biggest show of the year.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, in fairness, like WrestleMania doesn't really get booked well until like 3 weeks before. So it's like I get it, but like in my mind, it's like when it's a super show, I feel like you need like a good month or two to like really start announcing matches, like build reasons why people should care about it. Like if they run Punk and MJF, that's gonna be great. But with 4 weeks of TV, it's like, well, you can tell a great story, but it's like you could tell even better one if you got like 2 months, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like that can hold people's attention for like certain matches, like the main event or a big tag match or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the thing that people that are saying, man, why haven't they built a match yet? You guys are in denial about the match that they're building. It's Cole versus Max. They're going to break this team up, guys. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't want it, but it's going to happen. It is going to happen.
Them boys are not leaving with them tag team championships tonight, you guys.
I think people are in denial. People are like, "Oh, there's no long build for this show." It is. It's the world title match that they're building towards that you guys are now trying to tell us you don't want. You're now trying to tell us do a tag match with these two. No, they're not going to do that. I don't feel like that's happening. And I could be wrong. If they win tonight, I will get on this podcast next week with egg on my face and say I was wrong. But I don't think that.
I'd be super surprised if you had egg on your face next week.
Especially just certain things we got this week. MJF saying that I'm gonna give you the title match this week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you the title match. I know that means too much. I got on this podcast before. I don't believe you, Max.
Don't believe him.
I do not believe you.
Do not believe him.
It's just too many coincidences. Just the way that Roddy ran in afterwards, and he was upset. And poor Roddy got completely cooked. Not cooked as bad as Dax. Dax got obliterated in promo.
That was hilarious.
But yeah, no, I feel like that, and the fact that we got this Kingdom vignette last night, the day before this match, I was like, what does that mean?
What does a lot of that mean? Yeah, I think going into these big events, when people are just so gung ho on this Cole and MJF continuing as a tag team, it's like they got huge events coming up, man. We need the world champion being the world champion at Wembley, at All Out, at all these big shows.
Yeah.
Him being a tag team champion doesn't make sense for that, you guys. And then on the other opposite of that, we need FTR to also have big matches at All In and All Out, and them being the tag team champions makes that. So this,
and I mean, you could pivot if you need
totally.
If you needed to, and it was just FDR having a banger match on that card without the belt,
it worked.
Yes, you could. But again, if you have a world champion right now, why are you putting him in that division instead of building towards a big title match for that show? That doesn't make sense. But
it wouldn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I feel like they're losing tonight. I've been enjoying everything they're doing with it as well, but you're supposed to enjoy it. You're not supposed to want to see it end. That's kind of the point, but I definitely think it's coming to an end. If not immediately after this match tonight, I definitely think it's coming to an end.
The people that are just like, this will be the worst thing that they ever booked if they break them up. I'm like, relax, you guys. Like, you're supposed to get to this point.
This is the worst booking decision I've ever Scene.
Speaking of
shout out to
Scorpio
man.
Sky, what happened here, man? The bro got booked for a match. They said, hey, we're going to have a match with Scorpio Sky at Rampage on Dynamite. And then we get to Rampage, and it's not Scorpio Sky. They announced that he got injured or he's injured or something happened. Shout out to Scorpio Sky. I don't know exactly what happened, but just coming back and momentum and all these things, and for this to kind of happen is unfortunate. It's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, boy, I have come to despise the term injury prone because people just don't know what these guys go through on a regular basis. Some of this stuff is just freak accident. It's stuff that's not in their control. And it seemed like he was very much excited about the return. He was pumped up about doing certain stuff for Collision. And yeah, this was just unfortunate. It happened again, very poor timing, but yeah, man, shout out to Scorpio. Hopefully he gets back soon. Hopefully this isn't anything that's gonna keep him on the mend for a long time, which I mean, we just got that Leo news as well. And I mean, luckily it seems like that's just a month. So
you talked to him before or after that, Mount?
Say again?
You talked to Leo before or after the injury?
He's injured?
You didn't know Leo was injured?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he injured his shoulder at the last Impact taping. Was it Impact, maybe?
I mean, that happened at MCW. He had to go to
yeah.
He said he was fine, though.
Like, he said he was fine.
He was like, yeah, I'm good. He just had a little thing happen. I mean, I don't know how serious it was. We didn't really talk about it online.
Yeah. I think I saw somewhere that it says going to be out for just like a month or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he seemed pretty chill about it because I talked to him like the day after. It's like he seemed like, hey, yeah, I'm all right. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, sure. Again, people are doing the injury prone thing, and it's like as soon as he won the title, people are like, "Oh, he's injured again. Is he going to retire again?" It's like, guys, shut up. Like, it's so stupid.
I mean, like it's all different situations. It's like, I mean, I don't know. People are idiots.
I legit hate it. It makes me mad. Anytime that Leo does something dope and there's somebody in the comments like, "Oh, retirement." Shut up, dude. Look, stay out of this.
Exactly. Like, if you don't like him, you don't have to watch him, bro.
Yeah, no. I'm very glad that it's just like a minor thing. He'll be back in a month. It looks like he's gonna be back and ready for the next Impact Plus pay-per-view. I think it's Emergence is coming up. Yeah. But yeah,
did they already come to Chicago?
Yeah, they're taping here tonight. They taped last night and tonight. I didn't go last night. I had a bunch of stuff going on. I can't go tonight. I got other stuff going on tonight.
Damn, busy ass guy.
But I will be going to Bound for Glory in October, so they'll be back here in October. So
shout out to Tracy. I think Tracy was out there though.
Smiley was out there with her glow in the dark outfit. Trent gave her the shout out, gave her the look on Twitter. That's dope.
Love it,
man.
That's my
super
friend.
Happy for Trent as well. Out there with the wig, with her name on the back, man.
She's looking great.
She is looking great.
And shout out to Impact. They did some good numbers with Trent
huge number
on the show. Like things are happening, man. It's good. It's really good to see because that roster works so hard, man. Those people over there. If you talk to anybody from the Impact roster, they will be the most passionate people telling you about why you should watch Impact and why their roster is so great. And they just need more, man. They need more. So much more.
It's like I don't know what it is, but like it's like the show is good as long as you turn it on. Like it's just like the getting people to turn it on thing. Exactly. Like the issue. Because like if you watch it, you're entertained. Like I've never like watched an Impact show and was like, oh, that was boring. Like it was always fun. It's just that like sometimes I just don't always turn it on. Yeah. That's like the issue. I don't know. I don't know how to get to that point.
Some people just can't get past the production value and like the
like,
size
the
of
production
the crowd.
really isn't that bad though. Like that's what I'm
yeah, but I think it's people that are used to what they like, and they're like, WWE does it this way, and so when they see any other smaller promotion, they're like, this looks.
Every promotion is a smaller promotion.
And that's why
your promotion's doing 10,000 people on Monday and another 10,000 on Friday. Like,
I think people can't get used to the jump from that to this, and I don't know.
It took me some time to figure that out as well. It's like I'm used to like big stadiums, so to see like a sports complex with like I don't know 4,000 people or something. Like it definitely can be weird if you look at it like that. It's just kind of like you gotta just figure out how to just move past that. It's just different.
I agree. But yeah, shout out to what they're doing. Popped that big number for Slammiversary. I saw somebody in the chat. Absolutely, Trinity proven draw. Um, it got a lot of good stuff coming together at the right times for Impact. Uh, Lance was on Twitter immediately like, "Oh man, you don't want good wrestling? We got that over here. Watch the Knockouts division." And I mean, he has a point because the Knockouts division is consistently good. They utilize their entire division very well. And people that do want good women's wrestling, they can watch that. And that is kind of a good point that I do see people making that, hey, man, if this company's not giving you what you want, there is so much other wrestling that is. And that's not to excuse AEW or say that, oh, well, they're never going to get this right, so I'm just giving up on it. But again, if you want good women's wrestling, there's knockouts. There's some of the stuff that WWE does. I'm not the hugest fan of all of it, but some of it is good. You can't watch Stardom. You can't watch WoW. You can't. There's so much other women's wrestling you can watch, but
they're gonna let
yeah. Again, that's not to make an excuse for AEW. I do think that they do need to be more consistent with the women. I do think they need to be more proactive with the women that they bring in, but man, there's so much wrestling you can watch, man. There's so much wrestling. I think we got some more Humper chats. I kind of stopped to get into this women's wrestling content.
Yeah.
But where did we leave off?
Last one was a women's question.
Was it? It was.
Yeah.
It was from Tony P.
Yep.
Tony P continues, they want to push Brit for the mainstream since she is a strong personality and cool to some, but those two are what fans envision. Those two, I think he's talking about Sheeta and Hayter, are what fans envision what the division should be overall.
Mm-hmm.
Staying on Brit, AEW needs to be careful on how they book her in coming months. I think it's time to turn Brit again. I think that Brit as a babyface has kind of run its course, especially not with Jamie not there, because most of the interest in having her as a babyface was the storyline with Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we know that Jamie's possibly going to be out for the rest of the year, I think you got to pivot and turn Brit heel again.
Mm-hmm. She just works better as a heel is all it is. That's why things have been kind of weird and a little bit clunky for Brit, just because she needs to work heel.
Yeah, I think they missed their chance with the heel turn with Jamie as well. Again, it's just some of it is timing, but I think they kind of dragged it out a little bit too long too. But that's also they were trying to get the homegrowns and Outcast thing to work, and that didn't work out, which is another part of AEW Women's mess this week was the tweet that Saraya liked, and that then made the rounds on all the news sites and got everywhere. Mess. What a messy week for that division.
They can't catch a break. Shout out to Lufisto though, man. Y'all was talking crazy about Lufisto. She's a legendary wrestling women's figure out here.
Yeah, no. Big shout outs to Lufisto. Shout outs to Taya too. People were talking crazy about Taya. I didn't really care for that either.
Yeah, I don't even think any of that was on Taya also, but that's another story for another day. Like, she was fine in the match. Like, I hate when people are like, oh, Taya's this. Like, Taya's always moved like that. That's how Taya works. She's a veteran wrestler. Like, she's not the fastest wrestler in the world. She's not doing moonsaults and shit, but she works. She's a bigger woman. Like, it's Taya, man. Like, no one's surprised about this. I haven't seen Taya in AEW and be like, well, she blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's Taya. She's doing her thing.
Yeah. Again, I didn't hate the match. I think there were some spots that didn't work. There were some spots that, of course, blew up. I still think one of the most unintentionally funny moments in the match is with the Road to Valkyrie spot, and the spot goes awry, and Ty just looks straight up in the camera. It's just like, well, all right, well, I'm gonna start throwing these punches.
She looks just like, what do you want from me?
Well, that happened. All right, well, let's move on.
Like, spoken like a true veteran, and that's exactly what you should do. Move on, man. Don't sit there and wallow in your botched spot or whatever it is.
Yeah,
move on.
I thought they recovered as best that they could from that spot. Again, I didn't think it was horrible. I like Taya. I like Britt. I do think that Britt's last few matches haven't been great, but again, I think that you can't pivot from that. I think you can recover from that because Britt is one of the biggest stars in the division.
And people don't understand a live show versus a tape show.
Yeah.
We were watching SmackDown for a number of years, for years and years and years, early in the 2000s, and there was a tape show. So like, you could go online right now and see Stone Cold, The Rock, Kane, Big Show. They all have botches, but they were edited out of the show before you ever saw them.
It's wrestling, man. These things happen. But again, I think that it looks so glaring because it's the only women's division on the card, and then you've got all the rest of this discourse going on at the same time. So it's like it was the worst possible time for this match to be of that caliber.
I mean, I think it's fair to say, like, when something's bad, like, it was, to me, it was a bad match. Like, I didn't like it, but that's not a reason to, like, degrade the performers. Like, I mean, they went in there and did their job. I mean, something happened, and it just is what it is. I mean, that's not a reason to hate on them, but, like, it was a bad match. I mean, I'm sure they would probably agree with it, too. Like, it just wasn't good, but that doesn't mean they suck. It just means the match was just iffy.
And everybody has a bad match. If you wrestle consistently
Omos,
enough. Besides Omos. He's nothing but 5 stars. He's had
55
stars.
See, we got some more from Tony P. He says, it can lead her to get Cena heat, especially if it's her and Tony at All In, because it seems like she is close to getting Sammy heat with fans after that tweet, and the LuFisto tweet made it worse. Oh, and the sign Wednesday gave me a damn happy nigga troll vibe. I don't know where we went with that, but I hear you, Tony P. Also, any guesses about wrestlers from other places who will be at All In? Yes, we know Will and possibly Oku will be there, but what other surprises will pop up? You feel also what do you feel will be the main event of All In? I think Oku's a good shot. I think Oku will probably be there. New British heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Trying to think.
I got one coming. The main event's probably, it should be the world title, I would think.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be either a world title or whatever Kenny Omega is doing on this card. If he's got a marquee match, I can see that main eventing as well. But it really should be the world title.
Yeah. Because I think that's where people are getting kind of muddied up in this whole thing. Like, this is going to be an AEW show. Like, those people in London want to see AEW people, I think. Like, so the main event, like, if the main event is Max and MJF, like, or MJF and Adam Cole, like, that's perfect. Like, that's what the people came to see. They've been wanting to see AEW presented as an AEW show, not AEW versus all the London people. I think there might be a section of fan that think that's what's going to happen, but that's not really what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that you can do things like have Oku wrestle somebody on the card, but I wouldn't overdo it with like the hometown wrestlers.
Right.
Except
for the ones that you have, like Pac. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I think Pac is an easy one you can throw on this card. I mean, he just wrestled Gravity this week. We got all the jokes off, guys. It's done. The jokes are done. We've all had fun with it. We've all had fun with it, just like the Drake gif of the combination. We've all had enough fun with it. It's like, pack it up. Wrap it up now, guys.
On Monday, I don't want to hear the word combination ever again. Y'all get y'all weekend shit out, and we're done.
Combination. Drake is something else, man.
He's so funny.
Combination.
This man said, I brought your boss's chain. That's not a flex. You paid him money. like if you were like, I snatched your boss's chain and then I melted it down, we'd be like, that's dope. I paid your boss probably a lot of money.
Is it though? Is picturing Drake snatching Pharrell's chain?
That's hilarious.
No, that sounds crazy. That sounds nuts.
That's hilarious. Now that would be a bar. And him putting on that fake Joker voice or whatever he was doing also to do it. I'm like, why is he whispering like he's some villain or something? Dude, you're not a villain. You can't talk like that when I don't know if you've heard Drake. You lost already. This is over. Pusha T beat you. You have been defeated. You can't come 3 years later and be like, actually, you lost. So raise your voice. Why are you talking?
Raise your voice.
The fucking Batman villain.
Raise your voice is hilarious. I thought the verse was dope though. I really liked the verse, but I kept telling people, man, like, bro, he never wanted to smoke with Push. He was always mad at Kanye. And Push intervened in and tried to take on his beef. And then Pusha took it somewhere completely else. And then Drake was like, nah,
Drake that's not what we were doing, I thought.
He took it somewhere completely else. He like, nah, wait a minute, this dude. And then from what we hear, Jay Prince was like, nah, you got to chill out because the money.
Relax.
And Drake is like, nah, this dude just talked about my seed, everything.
Yeah.
He violated my family, my friends. Like, nah, let me get him. And
It's forever.
so people that are like, why is he not over this? Like, dude, this dude got on a track and called his dad a deadbeat dad, and then proceeded to call him a deadbeat dad. It's for life with him. This is
I'm 100% trolling. It's hip hop beat. The way that man talked, he exposed him having a kid, talked about his best friend and engineer bad. It's forever. I don't care. It could be 20 years. I'm still gonna be like, fuck that nigga Pusha T. Like, I don't care. The beef is forever. It's hip hop. And it's warranted if you've heard what he said.
It's warranted, and he never really got to come back from what he said. He didn't get to respond the way he wanted. So I understood why he did this. Is it funny that he chose this to do it? Is it also funny that Trav is a Kanye guy, has Kanye beats on this album, but he keeps letting this guy get on his songs and throw shots at him and his man? That is hilarious. But
he did it on sicko mode. Like, imagine being Kanye and being like, you. Imagine being like Kanye talking to Travis Scott and be like, bro, you did it again. How could you do this?
I mean, technically, he did not. Technically, he did not go at Kanye this time around. But again, you keep letting this guy get on your records and do this. Like, what's going on?
And Travis is like, did you hear Sicko Mode? I sold like 5 billion copies of that.
Yo,
I'm gonna do it again.
Yo, being somebody's friend and their biggest record has somebody else on there talking shit about them, that's crazy.
Talking about they're gonna slide to your house, bro. Oh, your biggest hit is this guy saying that he had sex with my wife. Dude, I'm gonna fight you. But I love it, Drake. Drake is the #1 rapper in the world, and he has to.
No, look, man, get your shit off again. Go lay in bed and drink refreshing, fruity looking drinks with Bobby doing the interviews. It's Drake, man. You know what it is. From Jennifer, all love, gents. Just wanted to send some support since I have been MIA lately. Man, appreciate you, Jen, as always.
Thank you, Jennifer. I hope everything's going well.
Yeah, from Life of Dean. What's good, fellas? Haven't been able to send any chats in for a while due to personal stuff. Hope you guys are good. Have a great show. And this entire Tyrus conversation is wild as hell. Man, appreciate you, Dean.
Everybody showing up to the chat. Shout out to Dame. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to the pastor. Shout out to everybody for showing up today. Y'all are dope. And life happens. We never were like, oh, where's everybody at? Why aren't you guys showing up? Y'all can show up at your earliest convenience or whenever you want or never, because that's what life is like. We appreciate the support as always. Y'all are super dope. Y'all make this whole thing worthwhile. Y'all make talking on Saturdays the easiest thing in the world.
Nah, y'all have continued to show up for us. I've said before on this podcast, I was like, man, what does this look like without Will Washington on it? And people still, for some reason, show up and listen to us talk. People still listen to us go on tirades and answer questions on Ask Grapsody, man. We appreciate y'all.
They listen to Malcolm go on Tyrus raids.
Yeah. Okay, so Tyrus, greatest performer of our generation, actually. Like, some people can say he has like mainstream crossover appeal. Like, he could
Fox News.
Well,
not just that. I mean, like, bigger than that. He could be like the next Dwayne Johnson.
Whoa.
Sorry, better than Dwayne Johnson. My bad.
Whoa. D-Lo Diggs.
Yes.
D-Lo Diggs says, what's up, fellas, and Muscle Man. Love your interview with I think he dropped out a word there, but love your interviews. We're just gonna go with that. Look, came here to say, man, the fact that I saw Peacock lost $1.3 billion and is planning to lose up to $3 billion makes me really want the network back. That's
a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. But you know how they're gonna recoup because they're about to start making you pay for the pay-per-views.
Nick Khan was like, I got y'all, don't worry about this.
That's what's coming around the bend. They about to be just fine.
Like, not on this side. We charging $80 for WrestleMania, bro. It's cool over here. We chilling.
See from Unsee, Wheelchair Sports Camp is a great example of a hip hop artist with a
Wheelchair
pronounced
Sport
disability. Check them out; they rule. I've never heard of them. That sounds awesome,
I'm
but
gonna look them up.
never heard of them. That's it for the Humper Chats. I don't know if we have any more super
Yeah,
chats.
we got a couple. Chris says, "Do you think Tony feels obligated to have women on the show? Not because he wants to. He comes across like It feels like he's saying he comes across like he does it because he's obligated to, not because he wants to. With how little of time that they have on the show. Do you feel like that's a thing?"
Yes, I think in sometimes it is, and I think it shows like I think the match on a Blood and Guts episode showed that was like, hey, let's just get a women's match on here so nobody will yell at us, but then people still yelled at us because it was very clearly like you were trying to fill a quota, and I think that kind of stuff sucks. Like nobody wants to see a match on just to fill a quota. I would have preferred you take that time to at least like either do a vignette or something or build to a story if that's what you were going to use the time for the women. But don't just like insult people's intelligence and throw a match on there and just be like, oh, well, here's a match.
Yeah, that Brit squash match was definitely a here damn match. And I was like, we don't want to hear. I'd rather have nothing than a here damn match because a here damn match is just us insulting our intelligence.
Yeah.
Caden says, Malcolm, thoughts on the city of Buffalo?
Yeah, I saw this earlier, so I pulled up a list of wrestlers from Buffalo. Lex Luger, Daniel Garcia, Don Curtis, Mark Mero, some other people I don't know. You guys seem I don't know what kind of answer you really wanted me to say. You got Daniel Garcia, so that's cool. Terrible football teams. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. I'm an Eagles guy.
Great rap, though. Amazing rap. Probably the best rap. That's why I don't like other rap because of what Buffalo rap did.
You just listening to the Derringer beats and like Coke rap and all the rest of this. You don't want
That's
the rest.
it. Every time a woman's like, "What kind of music that you like?" and I'm like, Griselda, and they're like, what?
Scaring the whole music.
Yes. 1000%. And my worst nightmare is when they say, "Oh, could you put music on?" and I'm like,
"Oh my god!" Speaking of scaring the HOs, Brian Alvarez this week not understanding the whoop that trick chant. It was one of the funniest things in the world to me, man. And I just think the fact that he just kind of like, well, why did they chant that at him? It's almost like he's like trying to work the gears in his brain to go, but his name is Trick. Why would they chant that at him? And I'm just like, that's why I tweeted what I tweeted, and I'm like, yo, I wonder how many people know what a trick is and why that's a thing. Like, how many people just think that's like a hustle and flow reference? How many people actually know what the term trick is?
Right, because I've seen a lot of people being like, it's hustle and flow. I'm like, it was in hustle and flow.
It was in hustle and flow for a reason.
It has a long connotations before that, for sure. Yeah,
it's one of those things like when people first found out what twerking was, right? Like, twerking's been around. The word twerk has been around forever. But at some point, pop culture found it, and they were like, "Oh, that's what this is." And like, nah, that's been a thing for a minute.
That's been a thing since slavery. That's a crazy. I know.
I was about to say, has it?
I was just gonna
wait a minute.
I know. I was just gonna try to move past it. When it came out of my mouth, I was like, I should have kept that one I should have kept that one up there.
Yo,
they're about to get us out of here, man. These are jokes. We need to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this podcast. Somebody very, very prominent. Somebody very prominent said that Phil and I's mouths to get us in trouble. What did he say? I was LOL, and I know, but I'm like, yeah. I mean,
this guy, man.
Sometimes I just let it loose. I can't help it. Shout out to our homie Eloquent out there. Says, we talk about not trusting Max, but Adam Cole hasn't been a trustworthy guy in his history too, like at all. I think he turns on Max. That's a really good point, Eloquent, because I came up with this week. My thing is I think that Roderick Strong is going to turn on Adam Cole and help MJF to be keep his world heavyweight championship. Just because of the way that Roderick Strong has been talking and acting this whole time, he's been acting like a little bitch. Honestly, it's like, dude, shut up. Like Adam Cole keep trying to be like, relax, leave me alone, man. I got this. And then here comes Roderick Strong, be like, okay, you better not trust Max, man. Like, why do you keep? I'm like, why?
Well, but see, I don't think that's why. I think he's like, nah, I got this, because he's watching Max too. He's like, nah, I'm not falling for this. I think
he's gonna join him.
I think he's gonna turn first, and I don't think he's gonna turn and necessarily turn heel. I think he's gonna be like, nah, I always saw this coming, Max. I never trusted you.
Right. Our homie Deontay says, folks will have their heart broke tonight, but that's the point. MJF is a POS. Devil makes you like him so he can hurt you later. I can't wait. Honestly, Deontay, yes, exactly. He's been laying it out. He says, don't trust me. Max, all MJF ever says is don't trust me, don't trust me, don't trust me. And now you guys trust him and think he's going to win championships without him. Cool. He's been telling you he doesn't going to do that.
Yeah. No, I absolutely loved, by the way, Cash saying, man, as a great man once said, the greatest lie the devil has ever told is making you believe he isn't real. And I was like, oh, you mean your friend, CM Punk? Yeah, he seems like a great guy.
He's right. I think he's right.
And he's like right over there. He's like right over there behind the curtain.
Deontay also says, Max or Cole turns. I'm going to enjoy it. I've seen too much negativity. Tonight is going to be fun. Wrestling is supposed to be fun, so everyone have fun. Fun, 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 fun. Shout out to Gravity and Samoa Joe also getting announced for tonight. That's interesting. I'm interested in why they're going so ham on these Gravity matches. I'm like, were those all going to be Bandito matches? And they were like, let's just put his brother in there instead. What's the extra emphasis on having him in there? Because he's fun and everything, but I'm like, I don't know.
I actually never heard of him until recently. Like, where did he wrestle before?
Just like in Mexico in his brother's promotion.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I had never heard of him until Death Before Dishonor. He's been great. I think he's been a good addition.
I saw him. He was booked at a West Coast Pro show months and months ago, and I saw him work, and they were like, "Oh, this is Bandito's brother," and I was like, "Okay, super interesting."
Oh, like his actual brother, like legit.
That's his actual brother. Yeah. Brother.
Wow.
Yeah, like his blood brother.
Okay, nice.
Irene C, also a great supporter. Shout out to Irene for that. She said, have you talked about the AEW fans' sudden manic anxiety about All In failing? Are you worried about no matches being announced yet? Yeah, we got a little bit
we talked about but we didn't talk about the match that is rumored to be happening.
Oh, we have not.
We did not talk about the fact that people expected Will Ospreay to be on this card. Famous English wrestler Will Ospreay.
Very famous.
Has been saying for a while that he is very interested in wrestling at Wembley in his hometown. So it seemed like a no-brainer this guy was going to be on this card. It's just a matter of who on this fantastically stacked roster of a company would be wrestling. It sounds like it's going to be Chris Jericho.
Which will be a great match. Okay, which will be a match.
He can't keep getting away with this.
He definitely cannot keep getting away with this. He cannot keep getting away with this. I think the fact that all of us were sitting around like, hey, maybe they're gonna do Ospreay versus Omega 3. Oh well, no, look, they've got this guy. They've got Pac walking around now. They've got Swerve over there. They've got this guy. They've got that guy. Nah, Chris Jericho.
They got Andrade. They got Roosh. They got all these very super insanely talented wrestlers. They're like, nah, just give it to Jericho. And the sad thing is, like, when you think about it, it's like, damn, they've been telling the story right in our face. They had Don Callis and Will Ospreay doing the thing. Now Don Callis. I'm like,
yeah. So fear not, everybody that thinks that there is no build for this card. You are getting a build. You're getting a build with this Don Callis and Jericho stuff that seems like it's going to lead to the Will Ospreay match. And you're also probably getting a Max and Cole match. So those are two big matches that you're probably going to get that have not been announced yet. But, gears are turning. But
no one's really surprised. Of course, Chris Jericho politic to get a Will Ospreay match. Like, who's surprised about this?
Who do you guys think CM Punk's going to wrestle at All In?
I think that it will be Jay White, or either Jay White, or they're gonna use that for the Ricky Starks rematch.
That would be a
That'd be
big deal for Ricky Starks if he
Yeah.
gets that match. I was kind of expecting maybe Jay White with how they're telling the story, and it kind of makes sense with being overseas and everything. But they're gonna tonight. They gotta kind of establish, I think, where it's gonna go. Like it has to be hard Ricky Starks or hard Jay White. I think tonight going forward.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've had like I think the thing that works very well about Collision is that you know who the main character on Collision is.
Yeah,
and I think that's sometimes where Dynamite has struggled. Like,
I kind of felt like that this week.
yeah, it's sometimes you don't know what is the main storyline. What should you be following? Like, I think all of the Orange Cassidy and Swerve stuff was great. Those guys had a banger match.
Like that was for me, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm going into that show regardless of even if
Yeah.
the Elite was on there, that still would have been my favorite part of the show.
Like I think the overarching stuff they did this week was really good. I think like I said, the Swerve and Darby stuff was good.
AR Fox.
Tying that into the Orange Cassidy stuff with AR Fox, having AR Fox join Embassy, all of that stuff was really good. But again, I just like, what is the main storyline on Dynamite? Like, we know what the main stuff is on Collision.
See that they've announced CM Punk's going to talk. Like, we know what time it is over there.
And I just feel like sometimes that's where Dynamite struggles. It doesn't feel like it's as cohesive as Collision has been for the past few weeks. I think that's right now what I've enjoyed the most about Collision, just like the pacing of it, the fact that we know like what is the main thing we should be following. I think that they could do more of that on Dynamite.
I think it kind of felt like Dynamite with everything we heard before Collision started and how they were talking about split rosters and all these things. I think people expected the Elite to be featured super hard or on Dynamite every single week, and they haven't been. So that's kind of been weird. You know what I mean?
No, they were like, suckers. We don't have a contract yet. Going on vacation. Like, ain't nobody got time for that.
We're trying to get paid. I'm trying to get this fool to pay me. I'm not going to be on this TV show until he send the contracts. You sent them contracts yet?
Yeah, which that's a very nice transition into what is the Elite future with this company? Because for a while,
you guys, if Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks leave All Elite Wrestling, I can't.
So we've had people in panic mode this year since All Out and the disaster that was this press conference. And people are like, oh, man, the contracts are coming up. What does this mean? They're suspended. You've got all this Punk stuff that's a distraction. Oh, well, they're not getting along with this guy. They're on a separate show. What does this mean? Kenny came out and gave like a very cryptic response after the blood and guts match that wasn't caught on TV.
Running with that one too. Boy.
People are running with this, and it's essentially him saying that wherever you see me, you see the rest of these guys. We're going to stay together, and you can read that two ways. You can read that to mean, hey, if I leave, they leave. But Meltzer has seemed to have read it as, hey, if these guys are staying here, I'm going to stay here. Wherever we are, we're here together, and that means we're going to stay here together. And I mean, of course, we also had the report early in the year before they stopped doing as many hirings that they were very much interested in Kenny Omega with WWE. And it seems like that is not as much the case. Those talks have slowed down, if there were talks at all. But yeah, I never really feel like these guys were going to leave. And I think the Meltzer stuff this week seems to lend to the idea that they're not going to leave. Our boss also tweeted that there's no real updates from this, that he's been still of the belief that these guys aren't leaving. They're going to stay put. I think it's just a crazy time with everything going on. They have They have the biggest show coming up in the history of their company. Yeah. You've got all this other stuff going on, and then these guys are like coming up on a contract soon. But I don't think they're going anywhere. Personally, I think they'll be staying.
I think
I'm going for Tyrus versus Kenny Omega.
You think Kenny is leaving and going to wrestle with NWA? Do you think this is where it's going?
Where else would he go?
No, I think that Tyrus is going to lose this loser leaves town match to go to AEW to take on Kenny Omega.
Oh my God!
Ooh, you cooking?
Oh my God! Cut everything off. Cut the cords. Cut everything off. Pull the cords completely out of the wall. Just
disconnect, bro.
Disconnect everything, bro. Pull the modem out. Just cut everything out.
I think the extracurriculars, I want to call them, are the reasons that I'm led to believe that all these people are going to stay in AEW. I know that Cody had a lot of connections, but his story, he was always finishing his story in WWE. So like no part of that ever shocked me when they were like, "Oh, Cody's got." I mean, the timing was kind of crazy, but in my heart, there was in a moment that Cody Rhodes was in AEW that I didn't believe he wasn't going to go back to WWE. I'm like, he's here to help start this brand up, but this man wants to be at WrestleMania. Like he never stopped being like that. I don't feel like that with Kenny and the Young Bucks. Like I don't feel like in order to complete their story, they have to go over there. Like I think that like if they stop these contracts today and we're done wrestling, like they did it. Like Kenny Omega has, who many consider the greatest wrestling match of all time, a bunch of them many consider to be the best of all time. The Young Bucks are my favorite tag team of all time, and I think the best tag team of all time in this wrestling company. A lot of reason that it exists is because of these guys. So the Young Bucks having family involved, Cutler, all these things, Kenny being so involved with this and the women's division and all these things are the reasons to believe that they're not going anywhere. But WWE, on the other hand, has a lot of money right now, like more money than they can handle, and they could afford to offer these guys anything. They could afford to offer them the most craziest contracts that you could ever expect. So knowing how wrestlers work, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Also, at the same time, like it would suck, but like, if they're offering you the most money you've ever seen in your life and you're going to be able to support your family off of it, do it.
Yeah, but I mean, that sounds good, the money side of it, but you really see those guys working that schedule over there? You think they're going to do like the house show schedule and they're going to do like the grueling schedule, doing monthly pay-per-views?
Going from what they're doing now to 300 days a year, I couldn't see it. That sounds crazy. There's a lot there. WWE is back like full time too. Like they're running 2 house shows a weekend. Like it's like it used to be. Like it went at the hottest time. So they have to change their lives to go there, and that's another reason why I just can't like. It's not like just going to another wrestling company and wrestling. You got to like become a completely different wrestler with travel, how you're wrestling, how you're presented. Kenny Omega ain't doing hour matches no more. You're not even doing 45-minute matches anymore. Like you're going to get in there and get out of there. So it's a lot more that comes with just money. So it's interesting, man.
Yeah. I think there's interest for some people to see them there. I mean, there are big matches they could have there, but I don't think the novelty of them going there for me is the same as Cody going there.
Yeah.
I think Cody is a guy that can easily work over there because of, everything that Cody does well. I just don't have the same interest in seeing them going there. And I just don't feel like it's the same. I don't think it's the same situation like you said with Cody, because Cody, not to say Cody has always been scheming like, oh man, when I get hot, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, not like that.
I don't think he was ever scheming, but I do think that he's a guy that can easily go back there and fit. He has history there. He was there before. He has unfinished business there.
His daddy.
Yeah, it's just not the same, man. So I don't know. And speaking of Cody, really excited for that documentary. It looks really good. We got the word this week that they are going to include stuff from the AEW run. They are going to include the stuff from All In, like him winning the NWA title. I'm excited to see that.
Tyrus's NWA title.
Nah, man. The last time anybody cared about that title was when
that's not fair to say. Tyrus is champion.
Well, I mean, you're right. Not fair to say. Nick Aldis before that had a pretty decent run.
Matt Cardona was champion. I'm just saying that mattered. That was important.
It kind of did.
Yeah, it was. Trevor Murdoch. Go back to Tyrus.
Yeah, nah.
It's a sicko lineup of champions.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it's a great lineage, actually. Ric Flair, Trevor Murdoch, Tyrus.
Jumping from Ric Flair to Trevor Murdoch is
wild transition, man.
He was there when he won the title.
I'm sure he was.
Yes, he was.
Sicko mode.
It wasn't sick. That was a real thing. He was in the ring with them. It was legit.
Boom.
All right, fine, whatever.
Nah, that company doesn't feel the same without the elite, man. It just doesn't.
Yeah, no, it'd be weird. It's
It'd
all
be-
elite wrestling.
it-
What are they gonna do? Change the name?
Yeah, it just be weird seeing a company without Kenny and the Bucks. Even like without Hangman, like I still think people have just like I don't know, man. People have just slept on the fact that Hangman has been one of the better.
Hangman
guys in
and
this company,
Osprey
man.
would have hit, man. Damn.
Yeah.
We missed.
I'm gonna
out,
fight
man.
Chris Jericho. What the hell?
Osprey and Satnam Singh.
Yeah, nah. But I do wonder what the elite are going to do at All In because they weren't on this week's episode of Dynamite. I have to assume they're going to start building something for them in the next few weeks because this is their first international show as a company.
They have
There's no way that you're going to get in front of this international crowd for the first time and not give them something with the elite or give them
I was
like a
thinking
big Kenny match.
Hung Bucks maybe, and then Kenny gets a single match.
Yeah, I can see that. I think we're probably leading back to like Hung Bucks as a trio and Kenny going off and doing single stuff. Maybe that's where they do the Takeshita match. I don't know.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot about Takeshita. Yeah, and we keep forgetting about Kota Ibushi is also there. They could do a big tag match also. So
Yeah, there are options. But yeah, speaking of Will Ospreay, Will Ospreay this week finished the story. I know this has now
Wow.
become a meme for a lot of people that Cody has now made finished the story into a thing. But Will Ospreay has been trying to beat Okada for almost 9 years at this point, going all the way back to their match at Rev Pro. Then they had their match on the 46th anniversary show for New Japan. He has been the guy that he cannot beat for this entire time, both as his mentee with Chaos, as his adversary. Lost to this man 2 years in a row at Wrestle Kingdom. Lost last year in the G1 Finals. But this week, he finally finished the story. He finally pinned Kazuchika Okada in the main event of Night 9 of the G1 Climax. This match was really, really good. Like, really good.
I love this kind of playing into the story of them being 20-minute matches, the 20-minute time limit. So, like, I mean, because, preparing for Okada, you're thinking that you're going to go 45 to an hour, these long, epic matches. And for Will Ospreay to kind of use that as something against him to finally kind of pull out a victory is huge, man. Is Will Ospreay winning the G1, Phil?
That is a good question.
think so.
I have been for the longest saying I think it's Naito. At this point, it feels like who the heck is going to beat Sonata because Sonata is running away with this thing. He's got
Sonata's
10
on
points.
fire.
He's got 10 points right now, leading the pack. Ospreay's right behind him with 8 points. Kazuchika Okada also has 8 points. I believe. Let me make sure that I got this right. But I think Finlay is right up there too. Finlay has 6 points.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I mean, I still kind of think it's Naito. I still think Naito might win. Naito has 4 points at the moment. But yeah, right now it's looking like who the heck is going to beat Sonata because this guy is smoking it. But yeah, no, this match was incredible. I love the storytelling they did with it. From last year in the G1 Finals, Ospreay tried to go with the Kenny approach of using all the Bullet Club moves to beat him and trying to use that tactic of, trying to use the move that worked on him to beat him. And this time around, he went with a completely different strategy. It was a shorter match, so he just kind of stayed on him the entire match. Like, he just wouldn't let him have any breathing room. He kept doing this great thing where they would get into it outside the ring, but every time Ospreay would slide in the ring, he would hit him immediately. Like, there's this great spot where he's trying to slide in a ring, and he comes out. He drop kicks him the second he gets in the ring. He tries to do it again. He hits him with this big cutter. He was prepared for every single Rainmaker attempt. He got some great counters in. Man, this match, like I said, if you have not seen this match, if you're one of those people that like, G1's too much wrestling, I can't keep up with it. If you don't see any match, go out of your way to see this match. There are a few Shingo matches that I think are very good. Of course, Ishii versus Eddie Kingston was also very, very good. But yeah, this was incredible. I don't know where this leads for Ospreay. Like I said, he's now got to be one of the 4 front runners to win this tournament. But I thought this was a great match, and I thought this was a great way to keep Ospreay hot because Ospreay came in and lost his first match
He did.
People were like, wait a minute, whoa, coming straight off of the Omega match. He comes in and loses the first match of the tournament, but he's been on fire since then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, great for Ospreay, I think, and on top of having great matches, I think all of his promos, everything after the matches to kind of build to the next stuff, or kind of tell about what he did has been great. Him having this vendetta against who they deemed the Three Musketeers and saying that he should have been the one, and all of this is about him has been great. He's been showing some great character work on top of having, 2 of the matches of the year, like at minimum. So this guy is really trying to become the number 1 guy in New Japan. And I'm loving everything about it.
Yeah, I thought that was also the great thing about it because, of course, this was the main event. So he was left in the ring with a mic after this, and he got his shit off. He immediately got into it. He was like, "Yeah, those guys that you're calling the Three Musketeers, they don't even want to be Musketeers. They don't want to represent this company. They don't want the weight of all of those other guys that came before them. But you don't need 3 Musketeers. You need 1 assassin." I thought that was a fucking amazing line. He smoked that. Killed the match, had a great promo afterwards, and then celebrated already like he won the tournament. He was definitely in his bag. Again, tremendous all around. And I think the story also they've told about how the 3 Musketeers have come into this with a lot of pressure, and man, they performed well when it comes to the matches, but the outcomes have not come out in their favor. Like I believe Ren Narita's like at the bottom of the packet with 2 points. I think Suji's like right around. I think he's got 3. Let me double check that. He's got 3 points. But yeah, it's not like in terms of points. The only one that's moved ahead is Shota Umino with 6. But yeah, great tournament so far. I mean, G1 is just always a fun time for wrestling. We also got that very amazing and like moving promo from El Fantasma. If you did not see that, after he lost, and he was talking about losing his grandfather, and just how much how hard it is to not be at home and feeling like being here, you gotta win and make it worth it because you're not home for those kind of moments, and feeling disappointed where he is in the tournament and with the outcome of some of these matches. I thought that was really, really good, man. Again, I've said before, New Japan is back, man. New Japan is white hot right now. It's a great time to get back into watching it if you're not. Man, super, super excited for where this tournament is going to go. Super excited to see who wins this thing.
Yeah, I think the best thing about New Japan recently is exactly kind of what you've been describing here, is they've added so many more players to this. Like it used to just be Okada and Ishii and Tanahashi and these guys. Now it's like you got the Three Musketeers, you got all these super young guys, you got all these new Bullet Club members, and the way that they're doing it is really good, man. They're putting some shine on the younger generation, and they're trying to figure out what's going to happen for the next 10 to 15 years in New Japan. They're telling long time stories, and I think that's awesome, man. So shout out to New Japan. Of course, like who's surprised that the G1's cooking? Eddie Kingston out there having the time of his life. It's really amazing to see. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, I heard that they filmed something with Eddie that's not a part of the G1 of him like meeting one of his heroes. That sounds really cool. But yeah, I agree. I think the best thing about the G1 is how they've put so much focus on building new stars, and they've like, even if it's Ospreay like showing like, no, he's ready to move past the old guard. He's not necessarily a new star. He's been a guy that's been around, but he's ready to break past that limit and move on and be a big part of the main title scene. Exciting time to be a New Japan fan.
Very exciting. So yeah, continue to watch G1. There's a lot of it. There's so much wrestling. No one can keep up with it. Let's get into a couple of super chats. Sal Cruz says, hoping for a Cole heel turn. Babyface Max can be money. Also, wrestling gods can be so cruel. Danielson out, but Jericho is going to get Ospreay. Nasty work. The super nastiest work. So honestly, appreciate you submitting that.
That is sad. It doesn't sound like we're going to get Brian back in time. He gave us the update where he's now got the pins in his arm and the metal plate. Hope his recovery is going well, but man, it sucks that we're not going to get him back.
Unfortunate situation. Sal also says Tyrus versus Goldberg will draw 100K at Wembley.
Why do you guys keep coming with this Goldberg and Wembley thing? Where is it coming from?
Whoa, but Tyrus and Goldberg and Wembley. Oh, money. Ooh.
No, we're good.
Yes.
Goldberg spearing this guy out of his shoes, and that's just the match. Like,
are you saying that Tyrus will lose? Are you what?
Yeah, he definitely losing.
No. Incorrect. Try again.
Listen, the ramp would be way too long for Tyrus to walk down. He's in NWA for a reason because the ramps are really short.
He would full sprint.
Yo, I don't know if we want to see this guy sprinting down that ramp.
Absolutely not.
It could be a disaster.
I love it. Great content.
Just like Titus at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
He went out.
Anurag says, I missed the buzz for All In out that we had for Forbidden Door. No match announcements for their biggest event, and the booking has been pretty meh. Brian is missing 100%. Yeah, Brian's not going to be there. Anurag, he's out, as we just discussed. Eloquent says, y'all come around on Finley yet? He's no Jay White or Kenny, but he's dope in my opinion.
I haven't necessarily come around on him, but I think the reason that he kind of works at the moment is that nobody wants him to be in that spot. And it's good because that's what Bullet Club should be. People should be booing them. People should not like them. But, man, I see the vision in the guys he's recruited. All those guys are great, man. We got that report this week that the War Dog shirt is the highest selling shirt in Japan. For any of you guys that doubted the staying power of Bullet Club, you cannot get rid of this stable. Still one of the hottest heel stables. But yeah, no, all the new recruits have been fire. I think Gabe Kidd is great. Alex Coughlin is great. Yeah, I see the vision with all the guys he's recruiting. And if he's trying to get rid of House of Torture, get it out of here, kid.
Get him out of here.
Get in the bin.
Nurag also says AEW needs to focus on their follow-up after pay-per-view, special dynamites, etc. And please, Sheeta versus Tony at Wembley with Sheeta winning. Tony, book it.
Yeah, I agree. I do think they got to follow up better after their pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's just a thing. And in general, too, like, for everybody. Like, they came off super hot off Forbidden Door, and it was just like, all right, we did that. And then it's like, it's kind of been, then they started building to Blood and Guts, and then it was like, all right, we did that. And then it was like, now it feels like that same kind of thing, even though we're building to a big show. So it's going to happen, though. We'll get to Wembley and be like, this card is insane. I can't believe blah, blah, blah is wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, we want some stories to get there. It's just like the Ring of Honor thing.
Yeah, we were just here for Death Before Dishonor, and we ended up getting a fantastic card. So, yeah, we'll see.
That's it for the super chats. Y'all are Y'all are great for submitting those. As always, you can get your super humper chats in. Send us a thumb up. Y'all are not gross. I just misspoke.
Yeah, no, we're definitely not calling our audience gross. In.
Could you imagine? Thanks for sending money in. You guys are gross.
No, we're not Doja Cat. We're not, telling our fan base to get up out of here. Doja Cat was like, nah, y'all at home.
Wildin'.
Doja was like, y'all at home calling yourselves kids, get a job. What are y'all doing?
Talking to your fans like your diehard fans like that is crazy.
Yo, can you imagine Beyonce coming out here right now like, man, y'all Beehive losers? Y'all, what y'all doing? Get a job, bro.
I don't like that stand shit. Quit following me and go outside. To be like, wait, can you say that? I don't know if you can say that.
Nah, Doja was like, nah, y'all get out of here, man. Go outside, bro.
Telling your diehard fans to leave you alone is an interesting strategy.
Yeah, not sure that's gonna work out in the long run, but
I wouldn't try it.
Nah, I don't think I want to test our luck with that one. I think last we got a pay-per-view this weekend that I completely forgot about until 24
When is
hours
that?
ago.
Is that today or tomorrow?
It is Sunday, sir.
Sunday.
So we do have NXT Great American Bash. I think the other news with NXT is that they are bringing back No Mercy, which we talked about on Ask Grapsody.
Randomly in my hometown for some reason. I don't understand what's going on here. I was like, what?
It's so weird that No Mercy is not going to be a main roster pay-per-view anymore. It wasn't like a Big Four pay-per-view, but I guess it's one of those B pay-per-views that has such a name attached to it because of the because of the video game and other stuff.
I
It just
like
sounds weird.
the last No Mercy I went to. I went to the one in Sacramento with Miz and Dolph Ziggler randomly having a really great match on the show. You know,
There you go.
I can't even remember what the main event of that show was, but yeah,
It was
No
Orton
Mercy.
Bray.
More was that 2016 No Mercy. Yeah, so it is pretty interesting that NXT, they've done this a couple times with like the In Your House and Halloween Havoc, so they are kind of pivoting to this. It feels like they're just trying to put more emphasis on these big shows. But yeah, I was talking to a couple of friends from Bakersfield, and they're just like, you know, we don't really watch NXT that often, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, anytime that they leave out of their little studio setting and they're in a big, with crowds that aren't from their regular Florida thing, it's always really good. Anytime they put on big shows, they'll be good. Like this Great American Bash Show, for example, is out of the, I don't know, what do they call it? The CWC still? Do they call it that? I don't know why that's in my brain. But anytime they're out of the NXT studio, the shows are always really lit. So I'm pretty sure that No Mercy will be. And this show coming up tomorrow. What's the main event? Ilya versus Carmelo. That should be a heat.
Yeah.
Is Carmelo losing the NXT championship tomorrow? You don't think so, Malcolm?
No. It's too soon.
I
don't feel like Ilya's been like built up as like a challenger that you can realistically see become champion in this match. In general, yes, but not this match. No.
I understand why you would say that, but also you have things like Carmelo has lost 2 matches to Finn Balor recently. He has been showing up on the main roster more. They're making him more and more visible. I don't think it's that hard to believe that he could lose and get a call up soon. I don't know if Dragunov is the guy that could beat him, but I mean, if you are going to have somebody that's your champion that can have the banger matches, he wouldn't be a bad idea. I do think that Carmelo is going to retain, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could lose here.
I think Ilya as a character just isn't developed enough to hold that title, honestly. Like, I think he's a great wrestler. His matches are like fire, of course, but like as a character, I'm not buying it as a guy to hold like the top title in that brand. Like, it just not like definitely can, just not yet. Like maybe in a month or two. I need more character. Like I don't get him yet.
Do you like what Melo has been doing as the NXT champion?
As North American champion, I think he was a lot more developed as a character. I feel like his character was designed to hold that title until he got the title, and now that character kind of faded off a little bit.
Yeah.
I think because like they were doing such good stuff in the North American stuff, and I think it's kind of hard to replicate that. But I love to see more of those like barbershop vignettes. They were doing the trick. Like that was great. Like I don't get why like that isn't happening anymore. I don't know. It's an odd decision once he is him, he's no longer acting like him.
See, that's what guy. That's kind of what throughout wrestling history. There's been moments like that. It's like sometimes the journey is better than when you're there. Because like coming to it, we were like, oh, Melo having this great character, all these great vignettes, the barbershop thing. He's having these great matches. He's walking around looking like a star. And then he wins a championship, and it's like, all right, he's a champion now. But like, where's all the flash that brought him here? It's like when somebody, what I hate that they would steal Chris Jericho's swag is they'd be this great character and then they win the championship and then they just start wearing a suit and lose all the stuff that got them there. It's like, well, we want the stuff that got you here. Like that's why you're champion. Why you're leaving the stuff that brought you to the dance. Yeah,
it's kind of odd. I feel like Trick has definitely stepped up a lot. He's definitely stepped up a lot since Melo became champion because I don't know, he's been talking a lot more and obviously he's a great talker.
He's been showing a little bit more character than Melo has, honestly, these last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. I think that's the other reason why I'm not so sure he's going to win because I don't know, man. Like, I do think that he's doing well. I do think that they're definitely trying to do something with him, whether it's be like prepare him to call him up, but man, he's been losing a lot for a guy that's your champion, man. I just don't really get why that's happening. I don't really get why. It just feels like it's something that's been missing since he's been champion. I don't know what it is, but
I feel like the losing isn't like the biggest deal. I don't feel like Melo won a whole lot when he was even North American champion. Like he won his defenses, obviously, but like the matches that didn't matter. He didn't really win most of his matches, and I don't think anyone really cared as much either. Like I don't know. I feel like he's a type of character like he can win or lose, but it's like it's the character that needs to like be present for him to still be over. And I think he's still over. It's just that like I need more of that North American energy for him to like really be like that guy that like gets called up soon. Because like
instead of like we know you're him, but why? Like you can keep saying you're him, but like tell us why. Show us
like
why.
you have the reason behind you now or with you now that tells you you're him, but like you're not telling us you're him anymore.
Right.
Just keep the same energy. That's it. Like that's all I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match is going to be very good because Dragunov is one of those guys that you can count on to come in and have a good match. I mean, he just had that great match with Braun recently. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the match is going to be fire, but I'm not as sure on the outcome. I am, at this moment, saying I think Melo's going to win, but I could see him losing as well.
Yeah, if he lost and got called up, I wouldn't be surprised about it at all. It'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, Omos is a free agent, so he should come down to NXT and beat Melo for the title.
Yeah, and I mean we've also seen Bobby talk to them as well. Them being Carmelo. So again, it wouldn't be out of realm of possibility that they're building them up to move up and be a part of this new faction with him and Street Profits. So I don't know. I don't know if this is where he loses and moves up, but I could see it.
I hope when they do move him up that they bring Trick. Please do not split them up. Like they have to go up there together. That'd be very unfortunate if they do split them up on the way up there.
I wouldn't want to see like Carmelo stay a little bit longer because I feel like he'll get slated into like a tag team role with Trick, which is like fine, but like there's so much more to that he can do. So it's just like a tag team with Trick.
And they will do that too because we talked. Was it on Ask Grapsody? Somebody was asking us if we thought that Melo could be a top guy on the main roster, and it's like,
it was Ask Grapsody.
I want to say but how that dude up there, Mr. McMahon, like I feel like as soon as he sees him, he's gonna be like,
this guy,
who's this little dude? You know what I mean? Like nothing against Melo. Melo's an amazing talent, but. Man, we just talked about them liking giant wrestlers. We just like it's still 1993 for Vince. Like he still wants a big muscle guy. You know what I mean? Like shit ain't changed for him. You see why he still loves Brock Lesnar so much. Like there's a reason why, you know?
Sometimes you look at a guy, you're like, you'd be a good intercontinental champion, but I just don't know if they would make you heavyweight champion. And I feel like Melo's kind of that guy where it's like, you could be like a really great IC champ, but like, will they actually let you get to that world title? Yes, you deserve it, but like, I don't know. It's kind of like Shelton Benjamin, how he's like really great, deserves to be on top, but then like just didn't get there. Like, I don't know.
Or like Ali. Do you guys ever think Ali will be world champion?
No, I didn't think he was going to even when he was in the title mix, honestly.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with him. It's just like size-wise and who's in charge.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like that was going to be his win if it wasn't Kofi's, if he didn't get hurt. So maybe. Yeah. But that's when Brian was there and Brian
that
was
would have
vouching
been.
for him.
Could you imagine how our lives would have changed if Ali was in that spot instead of Kofi?
Yeah, no, that's definitely some like Back to the Future shit, like somebody at that time and like
butterfly effect.
Yeah, Kofi never won the championship, and what that did to wrestling, that would have been odd. But
I probably wouldn't even have wanted to go to that WrestleMania. I cried at that WrestleMania.
I was there too. I was crying.
You know what I mean? Like that would have been crazy. All that would have changed.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, Ali is also on this card. Ali is wrestling for the North American Championship against Dirty Dominic Mysterio and the former champion Wes Lee, who just came off of a record reign. But I don't know what to make of this match, man, because I in one breath think, all right, well, this Dom thing was just like a kind of a novelty to get people to watch this pay-per-view. But I also don't think that Dom's going to lose it that soon. I think if you're going to
because the Dom shit is working over there.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep this Dom thing going to keep people interested in NXT in some way. So, and I think doing the triple threat is an easy way to not pin Ali, so you can keep Ali fresh as another contender after this match. But yeah, I think the match will be good. Wesley's had good matches as champion. I just think that they
How are you on this Dom run so far? Do you think it's a success? Him being on every show that they have. He's like Sky Blue on AEW.
Get a backwards cap on him and
this man's on every show.
Get a backwards cap on him and get some short shorts on him. It's the same.
It seems like it's working though. Like it seems like it's a great plan being executed. Yeah.
The only thing that can suck is like don't overexpose him because like he's really good. I think he's super talented, but like it's like too much of Dom like bad in like 2 months from now. Like I can see this easily going like to crap quickly because it's like, all right, we've seen him every show 3 times a week. Like we get it. We know y'all like him. We know y'all think he's a joke. Like it's a funny joke now. I just hope they can like keep that same energy.
They will burn it to the ground, Malcolm. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, luckily with the match though, like someone like Wesley, like we were talking about earlier, do like records matter for like younger fans. That's the thing I know Wesley for now is like being that record holder for that North American title. Which honestly, that title feels like the world title of NXT. Like you see it more on the main roster than you see the NXT title ever as well.
That's true.
Like, it kind of feels like a title that's more important than the actual world championship. But I mean, like
that's the black title they say.
Yeah, I mean, like Dom definitely wins, but like I think the match definitely has credibility because of Wesley's reign, not just like Dom winning the belt.
Do you think so though? I think it's credible that he beat a great champion in Wesley, but he did cheat to beat him. It's not like he beat him clean. I think if anything, the Judgment Day stuff is working. Judgment Day is hot.
Yeah.
And I think that, using them as a hook to get people to watch NXT is smart. I don't know the shelf life on this. I don't know how long you could milk this, but I don't think it's a terrible idea right now, especially with the story you're telling with Judgment Day that now, Rhea's got a belt, Priest has got the briefcase, and Finn is gunning for the main title, and Dom has got a belt as well. I think it works perfectly with what they're trying to do. It's not this end of the world. Like I saw people the night that Dom won, and I was like, it's not what I would have booked, but it's not the end of the world. I think it's
not the worst.
I think it's a good idea to get people to watch NXT, and viewership has been up, so it's clearly working. So,
and if Dom is really working out down there too, to like, because he needs reps. Like, if this is gonna further him as a wrestler, that's great. But yeah, I'm along with Malcolm. If like in 2 months we're seeing Dom 3 times a week every week, it's gonna be like, all right, bro, we
gotta relax on that.
But yeah, also, like with NXT like being not as watched like Raw and SmackDown, like you can give Dom more matches that like he can like work on his character and in the ring, and like people aren't necessarily always gonna see it. So then when he has like those bangers with like your Codys and Rollins and whatever, it's like, oh, he's actually like holding his weight to an extent with these guys. Yeah, not just them leading him.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement that Dom is gonna win this match. He's probably gonna pin Wesley here.
Yes,
and they're probably gonna keep the Ali feud going after this. Which good for Ali if he gets a win out of this and he actually finally wins the title. Man, he
deserves it.
Still has not won a championship with his company. Way overdue.
Free Ali. Every time he does a promo, I'm like, you guys. So gotta get him something.
The other title match we have on this card, Tiffany Stratton will be defending her title against Thea Hale in a submission match. They had that match before after Thea. Well, I mean, see, so Thea, what I know about Thea now is Thea's in the Chase U stuff, and it's kind of like what they've done with Alpha Academy, where they've trained her up, and that like now she's like a submission. Right, her finishing move is a submission,
gotcha.
That's why it's a submission match. I'm of course like giving the cliff notes. There's more to it than that probably, but I don't watch NXT regularly.
That still doesn't sound like a good idea on paper. We'll see how it's executed.
I like Tiffany Stratton as champion. She's got a great look. I think she looks like a champion.
Totally.
People seem to like Thea Hale, so I guess. But yeah, here we are. You think Thea's gonna pull out this Kimura tonight, and you think Tiffany's tapping out?
No. This is like one of those matches that, like, when she does become a bigger star, you can look back at it as like, oh, she had that match. Like, that was like her establishing like character match.
But that's such a submission matches men, women, green, veteran are so tough no matter. That's why I'm just like, it doesn't matter who's in this match. Like submission matches are like for a live crowd, for any crowd, it's like you got to be like, it got to be Bryan Danielson and Shibata in there to really get people in. But if it's just like regular people trying to get these submissions off, it could be a little bit clunky.
Well, I mean, look, when we think submission matches, we think of like world-class technical wrestlers like you named. But I do think some of the appeal to this is we don't see a lot of women in submission matches.
True.
And I think like with the character stuff that they do there, it's kind of one of those ironic things. Like, yeah, these are the wrestlers we're going to do a submission match with. It is quirky, but I think it'll be fine.
That's Shawn Michaels. He's such a character up there. Good old HBK. But yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton's definitely going to continue this train going forward. She has a lot of momentum out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tiffany Stratton will retain. The tag titles will also be on the line. Gallus, that has been champions forever, will be defending the belts against the family, Tony D and Stax. The clips I've seen, I'm not a big NXT watcher, but the clips I've seen of this Tony D stuff is just like pure comedy. What the hell are they doing with the character? They had this guy like talking to him from jail on commentary.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on, man?
doing the SIBO, having his homie rap from jail. Like, I don't really understand what's going on, but it feels like that's one of the characters out of this new NXT that I feel people are pretty connected to for some reason. So whatever stories they're telling over here is pretty interesting. I'm guessing they're gonna win the NXT Tag Team Championships tonight. Maybe Stax and old Tony D, which is interesting.
Yeah, I can see the family winning. I think you've gotten basically all you can out of this Gallus run. I mean, every time I have to look up who the NXT tag titles are on, and I'm like, wait, who are their champions? And I'm like, wait, it's still Gallus?
Okay. No, when you were about to say the match, I was like, I wonder who he's gonna say. Oh, Gallus, they're the NXT champions? Wow, that's crazy.
Wait, who are their champions again? It's Gallus. Gallus has been champions for a minute. Xeno Hour, it's tomorrow night. It's on
tomorrow
Sunday.
Night. Yeah.
But I think that is all of the title matches. We got a few secondary matches. The one of the more prominent ones is Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport. They just redid the supermarket fight. Get it, guys, because her mentor is Booker T. See, references.
You see,
you get the joke. I think this is a good matchup for Roxanne. Since she's lost the title, I've been wondering, like, how did it get her back to that point? I think this is a good match. I think this could be a underrated match on this card.
Yeah, I like that they're telling the story. They've been doing these little videos of she first attacked her and she was going to 7-Eleven or something. That's what all I ever really want from wrestlers is like, man, I know that they didn't do that themselves, but there are wrestlers that could do that themselves. Like, hey, we're going to wrestle soon. Let's do a couple angles outside. Let's go to Walmart and do something dumb. Let's blah, 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 to just tell another story because they're not the main title story, but they're still telling a story, which is great.
Yeah.
Shouts to Roxanne.
Yeah, I think Roxanne is winning this. Then we also have Gable Stevenson on this card wrestling Baron Corbin.
Oh, shit. That's happening on this card?
That is.
Wow.
I don't know what to make of this matchup. We also got that very weird vignette where Corbin was out in the field trying to find some inspiration, and he's out there with like tiki torches and hooded figures. I don't know what the hell was going on.
I don't know. Hands off, big bro. Corbin.
Yeah, so that's also on this card. It seems like we're back to trying to develop Gable Stevenson into something. I don't think people are as excited when he first came in.
No.
But, you know, of course I think Stevenson's winning this match. He's the guy that they've got earmarked for a future here. Corbin's going to do the heel stuff that he does best. Not much else I really got on that one. No.
I mean, he has the future.
It's his story is so touchy feely. So I never know what to say about the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think people that either that's one of those things that's that's one of those things that's gonna keep you from ever wanting to see this guy wrestle for some people.
Yeah,
And some people, of course, are just not gonna care.
that's it.
That's just what it is. Some people are just gonna be like,
I
"Oh,
think
what's wrestling?"
most people on TV and in the crowds aren't going to give a shit. They're not even. They don't even
Yeah,
know about any of
because
the
some people
extracurriculars.
just don't know. But I think the people that do know, that might be a deal breaker for you. But I mean, how many times have like morally dodgy people in this industry skated by and it hasn't mattered? And it just
A lot.
it is what it
Like
is.
if we want to talk about morals, like the owner of this company, that's all I have to say. So
Yeah, I mean, I think
you want to draw your lines. Where are you going to draw your lines at?
yeah, at least the other promising news we got was that the other gold medalist that they just brought in,
Oh yeah,
Myra Mensah Stock has been doing well.
I was reading
She
about that
reported
today.
in, yeah, she reported in May, and she's been doing well, according to Meltzer. So, she was definitely one of those. Like man, they're putting so much emphasis on Stevenson. They were both at WrestleMania that year, and I'm like, yeah, this is like the first black woman to win like a wrestling gold medal at that kind of event. Like, yeah, I feel like she's definitely somebody that they can bring in and train.
Big deal.
And she's got like a more inspiring story. It doesn't have like some of the, you know, leery stuff around it. So
It's
I think
all
that
inspiring. There isn't anything crazy back there.
yeah, so I think it's I think that's great. I hopefully that she continues to do well and that that's somebody we see on NXT soon.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I was reading about that this morning and having a gold medalist like that. And she seems like just humble and super excited to be here.
Yeah.
That's a good recipe for a future star.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we've heard over and over they've been chasing Kurt Angle for the longest, a gold medalist that could come in and take to wrestling like he did and get the character stuff. And I think some people see that on the talent side with Stevenson. Like when you see him like do those suplexes, like when he was in the underground and he was doing those suplexes, and it just all looked effortless. Like
Yeah.
you can see
It's
it why they want him, but
Yeah.
the promo stuff and the character stuff is just not there yet.
Yeah. That takes time, and also for people to like sway their opinions on if they want to change their opinions, because they don't have to. But
Yeah.
in time, maybe.
In time. But if they think they're not going to see this guy wrestling Brock Lesnar in the next 5 years, then
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
it's happening.
Is he get into the Lesnar match or just nothing at all?
Yeah, no, it's too many ties there. Like he's been friends and close with Heyman since day one. Like they've been grooming him. Nah, that
Lesnar went
match
to go
is
train
essential.
with them a bunch of times. Like it's happening.
That Lesnar match is happening, bro. They're not gonna stop trying to push this guy. I mean, he's gonna go away and go and do his trials and do the Olympics again, and he'll be back. He's clearly in for the long haul with NXT. So
I wouldn't be surprised if WWE thinks he's doing well enough that he's a guy to retire Lesnar.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Really?
I could see it. I mean, like, considering how much stock they're putting into him, regardless of how you might feel about him, like, he might be the guy. And Lesnar obviously likes him as well. Like, Lesnar's not going to work with someone he doesn't like. So,
yeah. We've seen it.
So, are you telling me that the years of pain of watching him beat all of these black men is long-term booking for Gable Stevenson to be the guy that finally ends his career?
Long-term booking. Amazing, man. So good.
Oh man, but man, this has been a blast as always, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, we got super chats.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Let's not run out of here yet.
That's why I was trying to I don't think we have any humper chats.
We got a couple super chats before we fly out of here. It's been 3 hours. Yes, boy says, gentlemen, Spence or Crawford for tonight? I'm about to watch that boxing match.
Oh, Spence. For sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going Spence as well.
Yeah, same here. But Crawford, I mean, you never know. It's gonna.
It can go either way, but like,
it can go either way. Yeah. That's tonight. Jake Salazar says Bray versus Randy, generational main event. Oh, what generation?
That was at the No Mercy show you were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
why I forgot about it. Those sons of bitches again. I was as always. San Jose Payback. I'll never forget. Worst match I've ever seen. Albert Pont says we need a Bullet Club match at All In. AEW versus New Japan, Tony versus Shida or Brit for the title at All In, and fine, Malcolm, I'll play along. Tyrus versus Ryback.
Yes.
Yo,
Yes.
Don't play along, Albert.
Oh, man,
y'all are
yes.
y'all are
Yes.
some sickos, bro.
Yes.
Albert, do not play along with that.
Y'all are some sickos. I am surprised we didn't get the Bullet Club match this year at Forbidden Door, but it might be that they're letting Bullet Club in Japan get some more prestige and get hotter as a. Because right now, I think most people would universally cheer Jay White and Juice over them. But I think like the more you get some heat on those guys over there and you let them get their fan base, I think it's going to be a bigger deal when they eventually do it.
Right. Leonard Aarons III says, absolutely tickled by the fact that Chelsea and Sonya lost last night. Not a peep said. Mercedes and Trinity left because of this exactly, folks. Vince really got his fans with beyond words. Yeah, that was an interesting choice, beating your brand new tag team champions. I swear they don't give a crap about those belts.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what they were doing there. I didn't understand why they booked that match in general. And then Charlotte, of course, it wasn't just that Charlotte pinned them. Charlotte was rolled over next to them for a minute. She was laid there for a minute before she rolled over.
Chelsea was down, dude. She was down.
That made Chelsea look so bad. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world because Chelsea and Sonya are heels, and Chelsea does the comedy stuff, so it doesn't completely kill Chelsea. But boy, I was sitting there like, man, way to make your champion look like completely less than Charlotte, man.
And of course, there was Charlotte doing it. That makes it even funnier. Leonard.
yeah, not good. And then Bianca afterwards, like, why'd you even want the match? Why'd you even want the match? Hey, I'm talking to you. Why'd you even want the match?
Leonard also says, shout out to all y'all blowing up the Stanford legacy kid whose sole redeeming quality is being dragged around by Rhea. Dom is quite literally a default call and proof that bar for quality is gone.
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit different with him. I think they got something organic with him, and he is getting legitimate heat. So they're trying to run it into the ground at this point, like, because that's what they do.
Like these people like this, they're booing them.
Yeah, when they find something that works, you're gonna see a lot of it, buddy. That is just how they do things over there.
Unless it's LA Knight.
Unless it's LA Knight, in spite of him.
But see, they're not convinced that LA Knight works. LA Knight kind of got over despite what they wanted. This Dom thing, they've been wanting him to be heel. That was always the plan.
Time.
And this worked out. No, they never expected LA Knight to recover from that brace stuff, and he somehow miraculously came out more popular than ever.
Like, we didn't kill this guy's momentum. He's still going. What the hell? Arduin says, happy Grapsody. Shout out to y'all. Thank you. And our last one comes from Jake Salazar. Dom is the worst wrestler in the world. Even Tyrus is better.
Okay, fairness, Tyrus is better than everyone. So that's not fair. Like, I wouldn't like compare some rookie to LeBron James, right? So like comparing Dom to Tyrus, I mean, like it's just ridiculous. That's unfair to Dom.
Yeah, true. Jake, what do you like? Is it Dom or Jungle Boy? Jake, who are you taking?
That's wild disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. That's wow.
I just know he hates the most of them. Yeah, that's the end of Super Chats. Thanks everybody for submitting. Y'all are super dope. And submitting the Humper Chats and liking and thumbs upping and showing up for 3 hours and talking, sending a bunch of chats. Y'all are dope.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, speaking of Brian, we didn't even talk about Bronny having a heart attack this week.
Oh yeah, prayers out to Bronny, man.
Hopefully he's doing better. That was crazy news to wake up to that day. At 18, like, that's way too young to be having that kind of stuff going on. Like, that's like sobering. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully this isn't anything that's going to hinder him moving forward.
Yeah, prayers out to the young homie. One more Jake before he death. I'm taking death over Dom or Jungle Boy. Shout out to Jake Salazar, always being the guy. Appreciate it and appreciate y'all. That's it for the super chats. We're gonna see y'all next week.
Yeah, we are going to see y'all next week. I thought the Jungle Boy stuff was good this week. Sorry, Jake. I enjoyed it, but I'm telling the old man to get up out of here and get his pager, man. Basically, like, nah, go get your shine box, bro. Get up out of here.
Yeah, but before we go, Malcolm, please let the people know where they could find you, where they could find your interviews, and get some more Malcolm.
For sure. You can follow me on Muscle Man Malcolm on YouTube. Malcolm Muscle pretty much everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. If you use it, I shouldn't say Twitter. It's called X. Whatever you want to follow me on, you can do it, and I will be there interviewing some of your favorite pro wrestlers. And yeah, get me signed to somewhere, please. Thank you.
It's gonna happen.
Hopefully.
Man, appreciate you.
Thank you guys again. I really appreciate this. This is fun.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. This was a blast. As always, this has been Grapsody, man. I'm sure you have better things to do with your Saturday than sit with us. It's hot outside. Get out there and get your sweat on. Go get you a refreshing drink like Drake. Talk to somebody in bed. But we are out of here, man. It's been
Peace,
real.
y'all.
Peace.
Love ya.